A year ago in Tallahassee, the Florida State Seminoles rose like a phoenix to score 28 points in the final quarter for a 31-31 tie with the Florida Gators. It was enough to take your breath away, and we're about to do it again 1 year later. As ABC Sports College Football presents in cooperation with the CFA, the Florida State Seminoles and the Florida Gators. And here the Gators, ranked third in the national polls, undefeated with 10 wins, will play next week for a third straight SEC championship. But the opponent this week is number 6, Florida State. Thus, there is a degree of uncertainty that goes with the matchup. Hello again, everybody. Keith Jackson along with Bob Greasy. Lynn Swan is on the field, and this is a big ball game. In so many ways, it is not an absolute, but a virtual near certainty that the winner of this game will be on the way eventually to Tempe, Arizona for the Alliance Bowl National Championship. They'll call it the Fiesta Bowl when they play it. It happens January 2nd, so a lot of top-end stakes on the line here today, Bob.
Well, with the win by Nebraska yesterday, this game is very big. Ohio State and Northwestern are not in the Alliance because they're in the Big Ten. Tennessee is not a conference championship, so they're eliminated. So it gets down to Florida or Florida State. Whichever one wins this ball game has the inside track.
Of course, the Gators, if they win, still have to deal with Arkansas next week, Saturday night in the SEC championship game. But do you think any of the defensive folks will come today?
Hey, this is a great game for all you offensive people out there. Two of the top offenses in the country, both teams averaging over 45 points a game. If there's an edge, it's got to be with Florida playing at home in the Swamp. This is a tough place to play for a visiting team.
Steve Spurrier, the Gator coach, has a remarkable record here on his home field, but the only 2 losses have been suffered at the hands of folks named Bowden.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. We'll get to your kickoff in just a moment. But first, a reminder, the other big game here on ABC, Ohio State and Michigan. The Buckeyes with their eyes on a national championship. But first, they must beat Michigan and get to the Rose Bowl.
The game time temperature here in Gainesville, Florida is 53 degrees, unseasonably cool for this time of the year. It's also the time of the year that the flu seems to weave its way through a team, and such is the case with Florida State. On their offensive line, Clay Shiver, Lewis Tyre were in the throes of the flu earlier in this week, and they were held out some of the practice time. But right now, Jesus Hernandez, number 77, is right in the midst of his battle with the flu. They took some precautions, though, with Danny Cannell. He normally rooms with Thad Busby the night before the game, but Thad Busby also has the flu. So, Keith, they separated him last night. They want to make sure Danny Cannell is healthy. It's going to be a tough game when you're sick, but this is Florida State. They'll give it everything they have. Keith?
Well, sometimes, you know, the youth can make problems go away. These two teams do not take very long to get it up and down the field and stick it in the end zone. To give you an idea of the attitude, the Florida Gators won the toss and immediately said, we'll take the ball.
Yeah, and that flu business, Keith, I think the adrenaline is one thing that will help overcome it. And secondly, the cool temperature will be in favor of the players here today.
Number 19, Ike Hilliard, and number 12, Jaquez Green, are deep to receive the football for the Gators. They're in the home colors. Florida State, Scott Bentley will kick it off. They're in the white shirts, and we're ready to play a big one. And here comes Green for the Gators, getting a block on the corner and finding a track that gets him all the way across the 45 and out to about the 46-yard line. So the Gators get very good field position for the opening possession as Danny Werfel, who's tearing up the record books, comes out. You can see what he has done in 1995. 2,547 yards and 29 touchdowns.
You couldn't ask for better field position on your first possession.
Over the ball is Jeff Mitchell for the Gators, and Werfel hunkers down. Here we go with it. Little quick pop to the left side over to Hilliard. Hilliard finds room, fumbles the football, and the Seminoles recover it. So Florida State comes up with a loose ball as Darrell Bush, the linebacker, pursuing the play, lays on top of it, and the Gators turn it over.
This is just the first of what may be a lot of turnovers when you have two teams as explosive as these. Right there, a nice play by the linebacker knocking it loose, and that's what you might see all day. You throw the ball around, you put it up and around, you're going to see some turnovers.
Danny Cannell is the senior quarterback. Look at his accomplishments for the year. 31 touchdowns, 2,700+ yards. So here are the Seminoles now with Don and Williams lining up behind Cannell. And from the 36, Cannell throws same kind of a play. And it's swung out to a running back, Warwick Dunn. And Dunn will pick up about 10 yards on the carry. The Chili starting lineup. Warwick Dunn is an exceptional persona in this ball game because he can do so many things. And Pooh Bear Williams once in a while gets to carry it, but mainly he knocks them down. Put the ball at the 47-yard line. It is a first down for the Seminoles. The chain gang on the sidelines is all messed up. They have not been able to move it, but they do have the marker, the first down marker in place, and the chain is all tangled up. The officials haven't seen it yet. Back goes Cannell, throws, and the ball is deflected as it passes the line of scrimmage. This is an idea of what Warwick Dunn has done so far this season, and he can make you do different things with your defense.
He's been outstanding, Keith. Over 1,000 yards rushing for the second consecutive year, and he's caught 39 passes.
Quickly to the attack on second down and 10. The ball is thrown to Andre Cooper, number 1, the junior from Jacksonville, who's finally getting to play. Waited his turn, and he will have picked up another first down for Florida State. The offensive front is anchored by Clay Shiver, number 53, 280-pound senior from Tifton, Georgia. As Swanee told you, has been struggling with the flu this week. Well, the flu has been an adversary for the Noles. Ball rests at the Gator, 42. First down, Florida State, trying to strike quickly off the turnover. No pretensions at running here. Penalty flag thrown. Andre Cooper run into by Fred Weary.
Good call.
The back judge threw the flag.
Good call.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
Pass interference on the defense. First down.
So it gets a hoot from the home folks. The referee is Courtney Mozzie Jr. It will effectively be a 12-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So put it on the 31-yard line and make it a first down and 10 for the Seminoles.
Mark Campbell there is a top defensive lineman. He's got a little knee problem today, wearing a brace.
Out of the shotgun, air ball, they call it. The ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Cannell trying to throw through the crack, and big David Barnard, number 97, slaps it aside as if it were an insect. The defensive backs include Fred Weary, who got flagged a moment ago. The other cornerback is Antoine Lott. You see that Lawrence Wright and Lott are 1-2 on the team in tackles. That's bad news in a way. Your secondary guys lead the team in tackles. Double wide, top of the picture.
Three-man line.
You've got to do something quickly because the Gators are coming. The pass is away. It's over the head. Well, Cooper couldn't come back to it as the interior man, Lott, shielded him from the ball, and it's an incomplete forward pass. That's what I told you. It's about 53 degrees as we start the ball game. The weather forecast has been for mild weather, but not so.
Keys today, Keith, for Florida State. Cannell, keep calm in the swamp, and defensively, they need to create some turnovers, which they already have on the Florida's first possession.
The Seminoles have been right at 61% on the season in third down conversion. It is 3rd and 10. Pitch it out to Dunn. Gets a little help from the tight end over there, and he's going to come up short of his first down. But he is inside the 25, and here comes the Florida State kicking team. Scott Bentley, the junior out of Aurora, Colorado. He was much hailed. And here are his numbers for 95. He's hit some bumps in the road at Tallahassee, but it's seemingly put everything back together. His longest field goal this season, 34. This one is from 40. There's plenty of leg on it, and it's good. So Florida State gets on the scoreboard off the turnover to lead 3-0. Well, you can tell that Florida State's in the swamp. They took 5 seconds longer than the norm to get the field goal.
It really bothered them, didn't it?
Yeah. So they'll kick it off. Bentley, and waiting for it again is Hilliard, and he's probably stung a bit because he was the man who fumbled the football and gave them the opportunity. We've yet to have a running play in the ball game. Here's a high hanging kick now, and this is Green. He's one of the special team stars for the Gators, and he is rolled down at the 20, and you get a little bit of the Jaws business aimed at the Florida group down in the end zone by Lamont Green. The Chili starting lineup for the Gators. The backs and receivers include Chris Dorey, who was not recruited. He actually wanted to go over to Tallahassee, and Florida State didn't call him, so he came down here, walked on, showed up, worked hard, and has become a record holder. On first down from the 21-yard line, Werfel looks and throws quickly, and the pass is complete. That's 9 plays in the ball game, and we still haven't seen a running play, and it's good for a first down. The offensive front is led by big Jason Odom. He started ever since he showed up on campus. He's 298 pounds, and that whole offensive front is plenty good.
Awful good offensive line. In fact, both teams have outstanding offensive lines.
Ball is at the 33-yard line for the first down for the Gators, and Werfel turns, gives to the running back. Voila! We have a running play as Elijah Williams stumbles and falls at midfield. He had some more room to roam down the sideline, but he lost his footing and went down.
That offensive line we were talking about, Keith, just opened up the hole. 75 is Young. 71 is Mitchell, the center. Nice little delayed draw play. Slips down. He could have picked up about 15 more yards.
Ball is right on midfield. The Florida offensive front has a combined 142 starts in game. That's a lot. Crowd gets quiet when the Gators have the ball, and Danny Werfel back, looks down the middle, goes short instead. He had Doring down the middle of the field, but took the short man.
Werfel pass from Victor Williams.
The Florida State defensive front seven, led by Andre Wadsworth. They're all good. Boulware, but they're also dinged up a little bit up front. Tarrant Marion and Orpheus Roy. But the 3 linebackers, Cowart, Bush, and Rebold, create a lot of havoc.
The thing about Wadsworth, he's a defensive lineman, plays on the nose. He is the second leading tackler on that defense. Very unusual.
Which means he's 2 or 3 things. He's big, he's strong, and he's quick.
He's agile, and he gets around.
And indefatigable. Down the middle this time with a pass. It is caught by Dwayne Mobley, the fullback, out of the backfield, and he is just short, or very close to the first down. Now they put him right on the 40, and he may have his first down.
Samari Rowe is the top defensive back in that secondary. He comes in with 3 interceptions, even though they lead the ACC in pass defense. This secondary has been burned somewhat this season for touchdown passes.
Well, they got hit by a big one in the Virginia ball game. That was one of the reasons they lost that ball game. It is the first down.
For the Gators, their stories, what they need to do, keep Werfel clean. That's going to be a key for both quarterbacks, but particularly don't let Werfel get sacked or hit down. And defensively, it's a done deal. You've got to stop Warwick Dunn.
So first down from the 40 for the Gators as Werfel now calls the play at the line of scrimmage. And there's contact along the line of scrimmage as the ball is handed away to Williams, and a penalty flag is thrown by both the linesmen, the head linesman and the line judge. Here's Mr. Mosey.
Offsides on the defense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Going to be first down and 5. And Ike Hilliard is shaken up and will come out. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select the genuine Chevrolet most valuable player from each team. So far, Chevrolet contributing almost $5.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. For football at the 35, first and 5 now, as Florida State leads off their first possession, and the Florida turnover 3-0. Gators now mounting a threat. Werfel has the ball slapped right back in his face. He was looking to go outside to number 15, Riddell Anthony, but the ball was slapped right back at him.
Yeah, Wilson, 55, Keith. And this is something that defensive linemen don't do enough of, I think, and that is when you're rushing the passer, and if you're not getting close to him, when his arm is coming forward, get your hands up and jump up in the air and knock the ball down, or at least force him to redirect his throw.
Well, both coaches said yesterday, get your hands up. You got to get our hands up. Both of them.
Yeah.
Second down and 5. Pressure coming. Down he goes. Sam Coward with a sack. Coward came clean, got his man at the 45-yard line.
Well, one of the problems that they had in the Sugar Bowl last year, here he is on the blitz. The Gators did not pick up the blitz of the Seminoles, and this is one of the reasons right here that they won the ball game. They figured out where they couldn't pick up the blitz, and they got him. Steve was saying yesterday that it wasn't anything special that they did. It was just the running back that blew the assignment.
103 tackles on the year now for Coward. And it's third down and 15. Werfel getting pressure from the backside. Caught again. Number 55 shot in there and got his man, Bernard Wilson. So Wilson gets the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage, and the Gators will punt it, and here's Swanee.
Keith, Ike Hilliard came out of the ball game because when that offside was called against Florida State, the play continued, and when the tackle was made, the back rolled up on his ankle. He sprained his ankle a little bit. He gave me a thumbs up, said he's okay. He went back in the ball game, but he is still limping coming off the field, Keith, so I am not sure how strong he is going to be throughout this ball game.
Robbie Stevenson is in the punt for the Gators. Dee Feaster is back to return it for Florida State. It's a low kick that's going to bound around, and he'll let it roll, and he should not have, because the ball rolls all the way back to the 7-yard line. A 44-yard punt and no return. Seminoles leading 3-0. CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Chili's Grill and Bar, where steak lovers go for great grilled steaks. And by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products. So the Florida State Seminoles, after watching that punt roll dead at the 7, will come out and go to work with Warwick Dunn and Pooh Bear Williams lined up in the backfield. They're in the I formation with Danny Cannell at quarterback. And they've yet to run a running play. The ball is thrown incomplete, intended for Melvin Pearsall, the tight end. Bobby Bowden, 20th season over at Florida State. See what he's done. He's under contract for as long as he wants to coach past the year 2000. Here's the first running play of the ball game for the Seminoles, and it's who else? Warwick Dunn all the way out to the 15-yard line. Bobby Bowden is not only a football coach at Florida State, he's an asset. I mean,
and he could be a banker. I asked him for a loan the other day.
Steve Spurrier, on the other hand, only in his 6th season as the coach of the Gators, but again, rolling up an impressive record. I mean, you can talk all day long about what
all his records. No question.
It is 3rd down and 2. Down again. Won't get to the corner. Good defensive play by Lawrence White and James Bates, and the Seminoles will have to punt.
The Wright is the leading tackler in that secondary. In fact, leading tackler on the team.
Sean Liss, who's had 2 punts blocked this year, is in the kick, averaging just over 43 yards a punt. Normally gets a lot of wind under it, and he's got a howitzer shot that runs Riddell Anthony all the way back to the 28-yard line, but gets a little block on the corner, and with his quickness is able to come back close to the 45. This Monday, Special Action Monday, full hour, America's Funniest Home Videos. And then on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers. Action Monday here on ABC.
AFC is looking for some team to step up and challenge. Maybe it's the Raiders.
Sean Liss, incidentally, just had a 62-yard punt.
Not bad.
Just beyond the 44 for the Gators. And Terry Jackson is in the backfield. 3 wideouts. And it on the play coming around to Jaquez Green. And Green is up close to the 49-yard line. That'll be a pickup of close to 5 yards.
Nice play by Boulware there, holding his ground on the reverse.
Whatever you have seen, whatever you think you might see, it probably will happen offensively today, and it reflects in those kind of numbers in the 90s for these 2 teams.
Every trick that's ever been invented on an offensive side of the ball, these 2 teams have it.
2nd down and 6 as Danny Werfel gets protection, throws a little bit behind the intended receiver, Perry Jackson, a redshirt freshman from here in Gainesville.
It's a poor throw. Just the communication between Werfel and the receiver. Werfel has been sacked 2 times early in the ball game, and that is very key. I mentioned in one of the game stories that you've got to keep Werfel clean. Florida State has already sacked him twice.
If his britches are dirty.
Yeah, not only sacking him, Keith, but getting to him and knocking him down, hitting the quarterback. That wears him out.
It is 3rd and 6. Pressure coming. Gets away. He's got a 1st down. Danny Werfel runs for a 1st down, and that's new. But he's a nimble one, and he's got pretty good size. He's 6'2", 211 pounds.
Well, it's key that you have a quarterback that can do that, because that just turned a punting situation into a 1st down, because nobody was covered downfield, and Werfel just said, hey, man coverage, nobody's covering me, and he just took off. Sawyer calling all the plays.
Danny, very level-headed youngster. He handles himself very well. Great deal of poise, I think. Just inside the 42, he hands the ball away to Jackson. And Perry Jackson shows some power running as he hammers his way down to about the 23-yard line. 1st down for the Gators.
From behind the defense, I think it's interesting to point out early that it's the running game of the Gators that's producing yardage and not the pass game. The Seminoles are ready for the passes, but the running game seems to be surprising them a little bit, and that's where they're getting their yards, on the ground.
6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. Florida State leading 3-0. Gators are threatening. Got a man in the end zone. Touchdown! Chuck Green for the touchdown.
Well, here's Green out here The inside receiver is going to come down and break to the outside. Green and he are going to cross. It's going to be a pass that takes a lot of time to develop. But watch the top of your screen. He almost threw this ball out of bounds.
Just barely got a foot down. The extra point try by Edmiston is good. And so the Florida Gators get their first points of the day at 6:04 to go in the first quarter, and they lead 7-3. Okay, John, that'll be a struggle all day. Danny Werfel has set a new touchdown passing record in the Southeastern Conference. He's thrown for 30 in a season. So once more, Danny's put his name in a record book. Matt Teague will kick it off now for the Florida Gators. And the people deep for Florida State are Rock Preston, number 24, Jermaine Green, number 42. Oh, Dee Feaster, number 33. He's back there.
So a quick drive, only 1 minute 14 seconds.
Well, these guys moving around. Here's the kick. Feaster, freshman out of Rockville, South Carolina, gets to the 15. And he's taken down at the 16.
Taken down at the 11. They pushed him back about 5 yards.
Army-Navy leads off the football action next Saturday here on ABC Sports at noon Eastern Time. Then you will have Texas A&M at 3:30 Eastern Time. And then Saturday night, these Florida Gators and the Arkansas Razorbacks will play for the Southeastern Conference Championship at the Dome in Atlanta, presented by Dr. Pepper. All of that next Saturday here on ABC Sports. 7-3, Florida has the lead. And Goodell sets him up. He throws to the sideline, and the pass is dropped incomplete. E.G. Green had the ball in his hands and heard thundering hooves behind him and dropped the ball. The swamp, it's called.
Yep.
And the grass is firm and the footing is good.
It's Johnson, Keith, a backup offensive lineman. Connolly, another backup offensive lineman, also getting in early in the game.
Warwick Dunn to about the 25. Maybe not quite that far.
There's Connolly. I think they're, because of the flu that's hit that offensive line and hit the Seminoles, they're going to be rotating those linemen in there all day.
Fred Weary got into a little scuffle, too, and he was told by his own teammates as they jerked him out of there in a hurry.
No, that's bad news for the Seminoles. Shiver, the center, who had a bout with the flu, going off with either an ankle or a knee.
Kevin Long will replace him. He's a sophomore out of Summerville, South Carolina. This is where the depth will show up now for Florida State, because they've got some players over there in Tallahassee.
Now you've got to worry about getting the snap. Young kid comes in. He's got to make the snap. Shotgun. Up. Straight T-snap.
3rd down and 2. They throw for it. The pass is good to Cooper. And Andre Cooper is up to the 35-36, and that will be a first down for the Seminoles. And so the Noles get a little bit of daylight now behind them. A little more room to operate.
The Seminoles are the number 2 passing team in the nation. The Gators are number 3. This figures to be a game for defensive backs, wide receivers, and pass rushers because of all the throws that are going to be made today.
Now they're in the shotgun. The snap is quick and sharp, and he hands it off to Warwick Dunn. Dunn wriggles around for a yard or so, and that's all. You know that the Florida Gators on every play are trying to account for Warwick Dunn. They want to know where he is.
Well, I spoke with Bobby Pruitt, the defensive coordinator, and he says we got a lot of different ways to do it. Some of them are man coverage, some of them are zones, and sometimes he's going to get us. But just want to win overall.
Rock Preston, a running back, is now in the slot. Dunn goes in motion. That gives them 5 wide out. Fennell's pass is away. The pass pass is good to Cooper. He is just short of a first down as Lawrence Wright takes him down. Now more on the Ohio State-Michigan with John Saunders.
Well, Keith, so far it's been the Tim Biakabatuka show. This is 5th carry of the game. It covers 44 yards, gets them inside the 10, and puts him over 100 yards on 5 carries. Then Brian Greasy goes 4 yards to Clarence Williams. Touchdown, Michigan. They're up 7-3. Keith.
Don't think the Northwestern Wildcats are interested in that game in Ann Arbor?
They'll wear out the knees in their britches. I'm out.
Number 53, that's Clay Shiver, the starting center. He is down for the moment with a sprain of the right medial collateral ligament. They are going to wrap it, ice it, and see how he responds to it. Then they'll make a decision on whether or not he'll come back into play. But that's a tremendous loss. He is a key member of that offensive line, Keith.
Well, you got that right, Lenny. You don't want to lose your center. He makes all the calls up on the offensive line, let alone making the snaps for the quarterback.
3:32 to go in this first quarter, and Cannell is belted behind the line of scrimmage by Johnny Church, but dumps the ball off and saves the loss. And now the Noles will have to punt.
Well, we talked about knocking the quarterbacks down, making them think about that rush, and this is another time that Cannell goes down. Church with a nice job not letting him be fooled on that little shovel play.
Sean Liss is in the punt. First kick was for 62 yards. Riddell Anthony is waiting to return it. Another beautiful punt. Anthony calls fair catch and then decides, what am I doing? I'm on the 10-yard line. Let it go, and he does, and it goes through the end zone. So it'll come out to the 20. And that is a 56-yard punt. So don't tell me about this air ball business at Tallahassee that they haven't overlooked the kicking game. No, sir.
Well, they just don't get much publicity about it as they do as their offense and defense.
So Danny Werfel now has the ball back. Werfel and Steve Tannehill in South Carolina were tied for 29 touchdown passes in the conference. South Carolina's season is over. Werfel now owns the record at 30. Here he comes again. And he's back to throw. And there's pressure coming. And he loops the snap over the head of Terry Jackson out of the backfield.
Good coverage by Cowart, the linebacker. Number 56. He's playing this year for the first time. He took the place of Derek Brooks, who was top linebacker last year for the Seminoles. In fact, Cowart leads him in tackles.
He drops a lot, too. He's back there in that short zone a lot. Very active. Those three linebackers are pretty good.
They are. One of them has a birthday today. Todd Reboll's 22nd birthday.
Werfel back on second down and 10. Gets his pass away, and it is worth 6 inches. Elijah Williams out of the backfield. Caught it. Brian Capron takes him out, and here's Lynn Swan.
And Keith, with these teams being able to score so quickly, if you went just by the numbers, you'd have 17 scores, 118 points, 62 points each, but the team with the ball last will win the ball game. The score would be 62-56, but when you look at their score, an anemic 7-3 for the Gators, when you look at their past history, give credit to Mickey Andrews and Bob Pruitt.
Defensive coordinators.
Defense wins big ball games. They're down and still about 10. Pressure up the middle. And Sam Cowart with his second sack of the day.
One of the things you do when you go 5 wide receivers, as Florida has done, is you leave it open for the 2 linebackers. There's nobody in the backfield to help pick up. They're blitzing. One of them gets free. When they spread them out like that, the protection is suspect.
Robbie Stevenson in to punt for the Gators, standing at his goal line. He hit it about the 4-yard line. His first kick today was a 44-yarder. This one is not very good. It's fielded this time by Steve Feaster. And he's going to give the Seminoles a first down at the Florida 25-yard line. So not a very good kick. And Feaster brings it back. It's a 27-yard punt, and the Noles are in business just inside the 26-yard line of Florida.
Great field position. Special teams of Florida State have the advantage so far in this ball game.
Gators are leading 7-3 with 1 minute and 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. Sets him up. Dunn is the deep man. Dunn skipping into the middle of the line will take it down to the 20. Ben Hanks makes the tackle. That's a pickup of 6 yards. Warwick Dunn, 5'9", 178, a junior from Baton Rouge. Folks at LSU wanted him. Went to Tallahassee. Second down and 4. Show blitz. Ball given off. Dunn. Dunn is decked right about the line of scrimmage.
It's the middle of that offensive line. You saw Clay Shiver a little bit earlier going out with that knee injury. Here's a look at Long. 51 is the man that replaced him. Blocks back. The tire is 66. That's Bates just throws him over the side and goes and makes the tackle.
He beat Long clearly.
He certainly did.
All right, Goodell now will go to the shotgun. He's got 5 wideouts. 5 receivers spread out. One of them is Dunn. Gets some pressure, passes away into the end zone. It is incomplete. It was intended for E.G. Green. Defended by Lawrence Wright.
It's good football right there. Both coordinators says we match up against these guys pretty well. They've got good fast receivers, but they have a lot of defensive backs. Wright, number 4, maybe one of the best defensive backs we've seen this year, Keith. He can do it all.
Scott Bentley is in for a field goal try, and it looks like it'll be 38 yards. Travis Chambers puts it down. It's got enough leg on it, and it's good. So with 27 seconds to play in the first quarter, Scott Bentley has his second field goal of the day. First one from 40, this one from 38. It's 7-6, Gators. Those games in the Big Ten, Purdue, Indiana was played.
Don't go in. Don't run past that one.
Yesterday, Michigan and Ohio State playing today. Michigan leading 7-3 on the other schedule. Some of those games mean something. Penn State, Michigan State, for example, that has bowl overtones on it.
Yes, it does.
And the outcome will define where they might go. Of course, the big Mamu is waiting, we think, for the winner of this one. Florida still has an assignment left in the SEC against Arkansas in the title game Saturday night.
We'll get used to seeing this type of thing. I mean, only 4 plays, 6 yards, 10 and 18 seconds. Stroyer was saying yesterday that last year in one of the games they had 16 possessions. Usually you'll have maybe 10 or 11 possessions in a game, but when you get out there and you either score quickly or you're going to turn it over quickly, you're going to have a lot of possessions.
What did Bobby Pruitt say, that Florida State had the 37 snaps in the third quarter up in Tallahassee last year?
In the, yes, defensively,
yeah.
Florida had 37 snaps in the third quarter against Florida State.
Wore them out.
Oh, yeah, wore them out for the fourth quarter.
High hanging kick. And it's Jaquez Green. He's a burner. And he doesn't mind working in traffic because he's a very prominent member of the special teams. And he'll come out to about the 25-yard line. A good deal of pride put on special teams play at the University of Florida, and those who make tackles off special team play are listed. They do a lot of bragging about that.
Well, I think that's good because if you're on a member of the team and you're not on offense or defense and have those stats, give them some stats for the special team tackle.
Perry Jackson and Jerome Evans line up now behind Danny Werfel.
There's Ron Zip talking to his troop.
And this is Jackson. And he runs into a crowd after a pickup of about 2 yards near the 27. The speed on offense for both these teams is obvious, but the speed on defense, ooh-wee. Keith.
First time Revo mentioned he has a birthday today. He's the one that knocked the ball loose earlier in the ball game.
Into the quarter, and after one, it's Florida 7 and Florida State 6. We go to the second quarter of play, and over this season, the second quarter has been full of points for Florida. That's when the Gators have scored a lot, 156 points in the second quarter through the season. Second down and 8. Ball is at the 27-yard line. Werfel is back, and he's looking around, lets it go, and he's got his man.
Nice throw.
Right in the middle of a whole bunch.
Yes.
He finds Jacques Green.
Exactly.
First down, and now here again is an update from John.
Keith, Tennessee playing their way likely to the Citrus Bowl, facing Vandy today. Damian Allen goes 12 yards for Vanderbilt to Fred Baker, and a touchdown, and Vandy, trying to pull off the upset, has the early lead. Keith.
That won't last. Peyton Manning probably hadn't seen the ball yet.
Tennessee struggled last year, too. Last week.
Against Kentucky.
Yeah, they did.
First down and 10. Seminoles may have been in the neutral zone. Here's a big play for Terry Jackson. And for the second time of the game, turns in a power run. But let's see about the offside call. If it is offside, you know the Gators will take the play because that's the first down all the way down to the 46-yard line. They'll decline it.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is declined.
Here's Lynn Swan with a fellow you all know named Smith.
That's right, Keith Jackson. Emmett Smith. Emmett, tell me your reaction when you found out about your knee that it wasn't as bad as you thought it was.
I was very excited, very happy, and relieved. You know, I was very stressed about it because I actually thought I tore something up, and pretty pleased of the results, and looking forward to getting back to work now.
Hold on for a second. We'll be right back.
Werfel lets it go deep. Doring is under it. Penalty. Interference. 15-yard penalty against Byron Capers. And we're talking about Emmett Smith with Lynn Swan now, who hurt that knee in the ball game against the Chiefs. Let's go back down on the field for Swanee.
Well, you calling that one. You got pretty excited when this touchdown was scored when you were down here.
It's not that often that a player gets to stand in the back of the end zone and watch a quarterback throw a touchdown pass right at his feet. And it was pretty awesome.
I know you're down here rooting for the Gators, but you did take the time to walk into the locker room to talk to Warwick Dunn. What did you talk to him about?
I've heard that Warwick Dunn was a big fan of mine, and I wanted to meet him. And I just told him not to run over too bad today, considering he's a great runner, and I wished him well.
He probably was happy to see you, but is not going to listen to a word you said.
He's probably not going to listen to a word I say, but that's all right. Hopefully the Gators put us on now. Right now, like we're heading in for a score.
He may not listen, but I know following your footsteps is something he'd like to do. Emmett, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's pretty good for an ex-Gator to go over to a Seminole and wish him well.
Emmett, of course, was a great start at the University of Florida before he started playing on Sunday. Werfel back, loops it to the sideline. The ball is caught by Anthony. Riddell Anthony goes out of bounds beyond the first down marker, just inside the 20, and moves the chains. The Gators are marching.
That the previous play, Keith, the interference call on Capers, was a good play by Capers. It looked like he was mugging Doring. If he hadn't mugged him, it looked like it was going to be a touchdown. So Capers, even though he had a 15-yard penalty called against him, it's much better than giving up a touchdown. A rule that's different in college than it is in the pros.
19-yard line of Florida State, first down for the Gators. They lead 7-6 as we start play here in the first minute of the second quarter. Werfel back, looking around, lets it go underneath. Ball is caught to pick up. Jackson will be about a yard or so. Good quick tackle by Sam Cowart, the linebacker.
Cowart's having a heck of a game already here in the first quarter. He's had several tackles. He's had a couple of sacks and been on some coverages. So Sam Cowart playing a nice game so far.
Second down and 9. Danny Werfel, 9 of 12, 90 yards and a touchdown so far.
Three-man defensive line.
Going again. Down the middle, Doring to the 1. First and goal, Florida. That is the 40th time Doring has caught a pass for a first down.
Well, they go 3 mid line, but they blitz these 2 linebackers. But watch right here. You're going to see Doring. He's going to get down the middle of the field. Watch as the middle's going to be wide open, makes a move to the outside. This is just good throw right here. Doring almost gets it in. Florida State has blitzed 4 or 5 times. Most of the time, it's worked.
Deep man is Jackson. Jackson's got the ball. Walks in. Touchdown.
So nice drive by the Gators. The concern now for Bobby Bowden is the Gators have scored 2 touchdowns. All he has is 2 field goals.
Extra point by Bart Edmiston is good. And so at the Swamp, on the campus of the University of Florida, the home team leads 14-6.
Here's a look at the numbers after the first quarter. This doesn't include that last Florida score. The key number here is the sacks by Florida State. They have sacked Werfel 3 times in the first quarter. Florida's going to have to get that straightened out. Numbers other than that were pretty even, except for the turnover by Florida led to 3 points by Florida State.
Jackson receiving congratulations for his touchdown. And again, didn't take much time once they got the ball, started moving it. 2:35 to get it in the end zone. Deep Easter's 33, and Rock Preston, running back, is 24. The deep people for Florida State. And Matt Teague will kick it off. 12:52 to go in the first half of play. 14-6. The Gators over the Seminoles. And the kick is to Feaster. At the 2. Looks for the wedge. Oh, he didn't find it. He found an anvil. He is hammered about the 17, and it's Tony George who got him first. Coming up next, we begin coverage of the Skins game. Defending champion Tom Watson, Red Couples Corey Pavin, and Peter Jacobson join him. It'll come out of Palm Desert's Bighorn Golf Club here on ABC Sports after the game. Play 9 today, 9 tomorrow. Cadell is 5 of 12, 48 yards. A bit of a rough start for Denny. Dunn is deep. 17-yard line, first down. Cannell throws it out to Dunn. There's a Gator out there to get a hold of him. And they take him down at the 20. For to pick up a 3 yards, it's Lawrence Wright, strong safety. Looking him right in the eye when he turns upfield.
Keith, one of the unsettling things for the quarterback is when your center goes out. And we just got word, that's Long there, the backup center, that Shiver will not be back in this ballgame. He is not only the leader of that offensive line and makes all the calls, but he is the spiritual and emotional leader of the offense and one of the team leaders. That's a tough blow to overcome early in this ballgame for the Seminoles.
Kevin Long is doing the snapping. And Cannell throws, and the ball is incomplete, intended for Melvin Pearsall, the tight end. The presence of Warwick Dunn on the field, it makes you change some things, and I talked to Steve Spurrier yesterday about defensive changes he might force.
And coverage most of the time. It's a little zone here now, not completely. And again, hopefully we'll have the right coverage at the right time most of the time. Although they're going to hit passes, they're going to move the ball, and we just got to keep playing hard.
3rd down and 7. Cannell lets it go deep. Here's Cooper running under it, and the pass is incomplete, may be intercepted.
Yes.
There's a penalty flag, however, dropped back at the 47-yard line. So the man who's standing over there to make the mark for Antone Lott's interception is the man who threw the flag. Let's see about it. Lott's spoken, so it must be against him.
Pass interference on the defense. 15
break for the Seminoles there.
Well, it's going to be on Lott. And you cannot touch him or jam him if the ball was in the air. We're not going to see it. It's a great catch by Lott.
He'd already pushed him before the ball got there. So the penalty moved the flag right there. 30.
And by throwing it right there, Keith, the ball had to be in the air, so if there was contact, if the defensive man was pushing him off, as long as the ball is not in the air, you can jam it because you don't know whether it's a run or pass.
Home folks are hooting as Florida State comes to the line of scrimmage. Cannell turns, hands the ball away, and Warwick Dunn. No daylight in the middle. They roll him back. He's going to have about a 2-yard pickup. An update now from John Saunders.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. Eddie George on 3rd and goal here gets tripped up in the backfield. So Ohio State has to settle for a field goal. This one by Josh Jackson, his second of the game, 21 yards, 7-6, the Wolverines lead. Keith.
Second down and 8. Done again. And he's a yard short of his first down. You're not going to, with a score 14-6, you're not going to flush Florida State out of their game plan. Their idea is they're going to run Dunn. And before the day is done, he's going to do some damage.
I think you're right. Well, Florida State seems to be more of a Dunn-oriented team. They want to get him the ball out of the backfield by handing it to him or by throwing it to him. More possession team.
3rd and 2, and he's looking for a first down, and he won't get it. As Dexter Daniels, number 48, steps into the middle and stops him.
Daniels was the beneficiary of Mark Campbell, the defensive lineman. Hutch Campbell, number 67, right in the center of the line. He gets up in there, messes the blocking up a little bit. Now Daniels, the linebacker, gets around. Campbell comes back and gets a piece of it.
And Sean Liss is in to punt for the 3rd time. First 2 were really big. This one is sliced off the side of his foot, but he has a pretty good roll on it. And it'll roll dead at about the 16-yard line. 9:55 to go in the first half, and the Gators lead it 14-6. We're breaking the 23-game home winning streak of Florida and set up their first national championship showdown against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That was actually a final score of 33-21, and you saw Warwick Dunn pounding down.
A lot of those players a couple of years ago are back on this field today for Florida State, so they have the confidence that they can beat the Gators in the swamp.
Elijah Williams and Dwayne Mobley are in the backfield now, and that's Green going in motion with Werfel back to throw. He goes deep to the sideline, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Jaquez Green. He's a redshirt freshman from Fort Valley, Georgia.
Here's a look at the possessions so far. For the Gators, they've had it 5 times. Didn't start off too well, but have scored on 2 of their last 3 possessions, and as you can see, they don't need a lot of plays to score.
Second down and 10 from their own 16-yard line. Odell Anthony is the man in motion. They'll run it with Williams. He is their leading running back, rushing the ball, and the gain is short. Robert Hammond, the strong safety, stepped up into the crease that time and made the first contact. This is really a good turf. Very sound, solid footing. Ike Hilliard is back in the ball game. So Ike has come back after being shaken.
Four wide receivers in the game, Keith.
On third down and 7. Werfel's pass is underneath to Hilliard. He's got a first down and more as he goes all the way to the 43-yard line. Mike Hilliard, a sophomore from Patterson, Louisiana.
You got 2 wide receivers over here on the other side of the field, but he's going to get this one, Hilliard, going across shallow. Watch as he drops back, fakes, pumps. The outlet is the short man coming across the field, Hilliard, and with the running ability, he picks up a lot of yardage.
Came into this ball game with 44 catches for 691 yards, so he averages better than 15 yards per catch. This is Elijah Williams carrying, and not a whole lot. Up the middle. 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first half. 14-6. Gators have the lead. The winner of this game very likely will be off to the sunshine of Arizona and the Fiesta Bowl, which will match the alliance pairing for the national championship.
Nebraska has already clinched one spot.
The Huskers beating Oklahoma 37-0 yesterday. That pass is thrown with a lot of spin on it and goes through the reaching hands of Chris Goring incomplete. Don't forget at halftime, we'll again be announcing the Burger King Scholar Athletes of the Week Award. A lot of universities very happy. That announcement is made for 25 grand all 4 levels.
It's a nice little gift.
45-yard line, third down, and call it short 8, long 9. Long 8, short 9. I'll get it right. My math's not too good. Werfel back. Drops it underneath again. And it's another first down as Tremaine Allen, the tight end, number 91. Junior out of Knoxville, Tennessee, makes the first down.
This ain't fair now. Steve's going to start throwing to his tight ends. Now, come on. You got 4 wide receivers out there. You got backs you throw to all the time. Allen came into this ball game with only 6 receptions. Steve's starting to throw to his tight ends. That's really going to blow some circuits on the other side of the field.
So far, 8 different people have thrown the ball. First down at the 44, Florida State.
That's a pass.
Lateral as Goring puts it in the air. Too long. It's intercepted, but he is out of bounds. Robert Hammond covering on the play. Made that catch beyond the playing field.
Well, these teams, I think, know each other a little bit too well to fall for something like this. This is a lateral to Doring. Last year, Doring threw 3 passes, completed all 3, and threw 1 for a touchdown. And I'm sure that they had a session at Florida State, just as they did at Florida this week on trick plays. These 2 guys, Spurrier and Bowden, just love it.
Second and 10. There he is again, coming right up the middle. Sam Howard. That's 3 times.
That's his
he's
third.
taken the quarterback down.
3rd sack for Coward. He's a linebacker stacked inside. The problems continue for the pass protection for the Gators. This is very similar to what the problem they had in the Sugar Bowl last year. Last year the Seminoles had 5 sacks in that game.
That's a loss of 10 yards. It's 3rd down and 20.
No backs in the backfield. 5 wide receivers. There's a blitz.
They're going after him and knock him off balance, force him to pull it down, and he's taken down right about midfield. Update, John Saunders.
Keith, Tim Biakabatuka is having quite a day. 33 yards on this run. Now 15 carries for 171 yards. It sets up the Remy Hamilton field goal from 38 yards out. And Michigan's lead is now 10-6 over the Buckeyes. Keith.
And here the Florida Gators, after that loss of 10, will punt it away. And this time it's a good one as Robbie Stevenson knocks it dead down at the 5. He spun it in there like a good solid 7-iron, and it bit and backed up. Kicking game, field position. All right. Robbie Stevenson just killed one at the 6-yard line of Florida State. Gators are leading 14-6, and now the Seminoles, with the backup center in the ball game, replacing Clay Shiver, Kevin Long, have to come out here and handle the ball securely at their own 6, with 6:15 to play in the first half.
You saw Spurrier over there on the sideline, kind of the offensive line going over their pass protection problems with that blitz that the Seminoles have been throwing at them here so far.
The crowd jumps all over Florida State's offense as they come up to the ball. It's throwing to the sidelines. An incomplete E.G. Green, intended receiver, and Cannell missed him. So as the Gators looked like they were expecting Warwick Dunn to get the ball, and all of a sudden Green is out there by himself. If he hooks up with him, that's a big play.
Green has caught 56 balls on the year for 10 touchdowns. Here's a comparison of two quarterbacks. Werfel having the better day of it so far.
Philip Riley is the white man at the top of the screen. Peter, he can burn it. Second down and 10. They go to Dunn this time, hit behind the line of scrimmage, but gets loose. And gets about 8 yards out of it. David Barnard, big 97, got a hand on him, but he couldn't hold it. It'll be third down and 2 for the Noles.
Here's what you're talking about, Keith. Barnard right here, 97, going against the backup center. That's Kevin Long. Throws Long out of the way. Amazing thing, Dunn just sees that big Barnard and says, I'm getting out of here. I don't like the size of that number. I'm looking for some lower numbers outside.
There's a crowd. They jump all over him when he comes up to the ball, and he's going out of the shotgun. Nope, he'll go back under center. Dangerous down at the end of the stadium. And he's got to hurry. And a whistle. And they stop.
Dead ball. Delay of the game on the offense.
That'll fire this crowd up when they know that they have a factor in this ball game. If the quarterback can continue to just ignore him and get his plays off and not have delays of game, then the crowd says, oh, they don't hear us, we're not a factor. But now they're going to get back in the ball game.
It is now third and 7. Ball back at the 9.
It's always worse when you're in a closed end of the field, too, Keith.
Lets it go deep, and it's over everybody's head. Here comes Sean List, the junior out of St. Petersburg to punt.
The poor series for Florida State. They threw on first down and didn't get anything out of it. And then the next 2 plays were just nothing.
Looked like the crowd really bothered him.
Yes.
He's got a low line drive. That's not a particularly good kick because it's taken on the bounce by Riddell Anthony, and he's collared and taken down at the Florida State 49-yard line. Prudential halftime report. Wait a minute here. We got a ruckus breaking out here. The penalty flag is on the field. Let's see what's going on. Ken Hanks got into a shoving match in the Vanderbilt game last week. They thought he might have to miss the first half of this game, but they ruled otherwise and called the pushing thing unsportsmanlike conduct rather than fighting.
Personal foul on the kicking team. 15 yards. First down.
So the foul, probably frustration by Florida State, and the Gators will move it downfield 15 yards. And right now, one would have to say the Gators don't need any help.
Well, and Ben Hanks didn't have anything to do with that. He wasn't involved in that play.
Prudential halftime report. John Saunders scores and highlights. Robin Roberts talks about the Arkansas Razorbacks, Florida's opposition next Saturday night. And John Spagnuolo has been up with the Northwestern Wildcats, watching Ohio State play Michigan. So it'll be an entertaining halftime for you. Werfel back. Good. Pretty good play by Durant and Marion as he reached out with that one big old long arm and got his shirt tail and took him down. He had time, but there was nothing available, so good coverage. Didn't go down, I guess, with the coverage.
Well, it won't show that way in the box score, but it was.
Yep.
And the offensive linemen don't like that, Keith. They want the quarterback to get rid of the football because it shows up against them. 5 wide receivers again.
Second down and 18.
That's where quarterback draw.
This time they pick up Howard, throw the ball to like Hilliard. Hilliard gets loose and he's on his way for a touchdown. Great run by Hilliard. He was patient, he let it happen, and he got rewarded.
Just good recognition by Werfel and Hilliard. And good coaching by Spurrier. You spread them out. You spread the defense out. You get some easy ones.
Bart Edmiston from Pensacola trying to make it. 21-point total for the Gators in the dark. So a 42-yard pass run play. Werfel to Hilliard. Hilliard waited for help to come. He got there, and he took it in. And the Gators are looking good at 21-6 with 3:54 to play in the first half.
For the last few times they've gone 5 wide receivers, Florida State has blitzed. There's 2 out here. There's 3 more here. Now watch as the receiver right here is going to go up. Nobody is covering him. They were coached on the sideline, and next time you go 5 wide, be alert for the blitz, and if you see it, hit Hilliard on a little slant. Good coaching. Werfel with the recognition. Coward, 56, has been the guy that's been sacking them all day. They picked up the blitz and got the ball off, and when you have great athletes in the secondary that can catch the football, broken field, they're going to score.
Give you an idea of the quarterbacks now. Danny is 6 of 16 for 51 yards, while Werfel is 13 of 18 for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Same thing as last year, Keith. Regular season game. Gators jumped all over him. In fact, it was Danny Werfel who came back and led that 28 points in the 4th quarter and really made his career, his beginning, really turned his play around.
I mean Danny Cannell.
Yeah, Cannell, I'm sorry, excuse me.
5-yard line. Picked up by D. Feaster. He finds a little daylight and gets out across the 20. 3:47 play in the first half. 21-6 Florida.
Yeah, it was Cannell that I was talking about, who was struggling last year and really came into his own against Florida in that 4th quarter. But of course, that wasn't here in the swamp against 83,000 screaming fans who going against him.
Ball is on the 22 now. Oh, the snap was done deep. They've handled him so far today. Cannell looking around, throws underneath. The pass is poorly thrown. The receiver was backing up, done, and was in no position to catch the ball, and he didn't.
Credit the defense. He looked downfield. He looked deep. It was all zones. Nobody open, so he came off to the back, and good coverage.
So they've gone to a zone for the moment. As Steve said, in defensing, Don, he forces you to commit to man coverage a lot. Now they feel they can use some zone, and it helps your people. That is difficult for them. This ball is thrown to number 89, Wayne Messon, a junior out of South Bay, Florida. And he'll move it up to about the 32. And it's close to a first down. They may want to measure, and they will. And that stops your clock at 3 minutes and 28 seconds to play in the first half.
Loads of time to score, huh?
Yeah.
for these 2 teams.
The last time Florida State has not scored a touchdown in the first half was in last year's game against the Gators.
And they're not a very patient crew. They're used to scoring a lot of points and not having a lot of big plays. Bobby said earlier, he says, I'm not a very patient fella. Mark Richt was talking to me during the week, and he was saying that as I call the plays, most of them, until Bobby gets on, he gets a little impatient sometimes, and he says, I got to call a few. But he says his boss is not a very patient man.
There's the big loss for Florida State right there.
Clay Schreiber, the center, he's out for the ball game with a bummed-up knee. Big loss.
It's third down and just inches, and here come substitutions on the field at the last second. They've got 10 seconds to get it off. And they go to the big back, Pooh Williams, the 266-pound sophomore fullback, and he has the first down. So they came in late with the big people, trying to keep the Gators from making any particular adjustments defensively on a short goal line defense, and they got the first down. Put it on the 34-yard line. Out of the shotgun. They got Pooh lined up in there at a slot as a potential receiver, and he's open. He throws it to him, but he waited a little bit too long. If he'd have thrown it a step sooner, the big fella would have had the ball and been rumbling.
They didn't want to throw it to him.
You're right, they did.
They want to put him out there to force somebody to go out and cover him. Take a look at the pass protection.
There he is.
Good pass protection. Nobody's open. You know, the Gators aren't dumb. They see that big 260-pound fullback. They ain't going to cover him. They can put anybody out there and waste a guy covering him.
Second down and 10. That pass is thrown underneath the coverage up to the 40, maybe the 41. And that'll leave him about 3 yards short of a first down. E.G. Green, he's a sophomore from Fort Walton Beach.
Bobby's talking to Mark Richt upstairs, the offensive coordinator. Saying, what are they doing? What can we do? How about this? How about that? Let's get something going here. We need some points.
Ed Chester jumps into the defensive alignment for Florida. Redshirt freshman out of Spring Hill. On third down and 3. Incomplete pass off Preston. And the goal will punt on on 4th and 3.
That ball should have been caught by Preston. They had both of his scat backs in there, Preston and Dunn. And Cannell throws Preston. Preston catches that ball, breaks the tackle. They were in man coverage. You could have got some yardage. Somebody's got to make a play, and that's what Bobby's saying. Come on, make a play.
5th punt of the day for Sean Liss. Gators go after him. He gets it out of there, and it's a good kick. It runs Anthony back inside the 15. He comes back to about the 17. That's where it should be marked. Update, here's John.
Well, Keith, coming up at halftime on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll have scores and highlights, including Ohio State and Michigan. We'll look at the revival of the Arkansas program, plus John Spagnola is at Northwestern with the Wildcats as they watch that Ohio State-Michigan game. Back to you, Keith.
Well, they don't give him. He came up to the 17, and in the judgment of the officials, retreated on his own, and they've marked him inside the 15-yard line where it's first down for the Gators. Big run. The sophomore from Milton, Florida. He's out of bounds at the 32-yard line. It'll be first down for the Gators.
Good blocking up front. That offensive wall of Mitchell and Young. Take a look at the 75 is Young. 79 is Mo Collins. 78 Green. Mitchell the center. And now the speed of Elijah just getting around the side and steps out of bounds. Yeah.
Time remaining, 1 minute, 51 seconds, 21-6. Gators lead.
There's the center, Mitchell. Mo Collins.
Werfel back. Got a man. Chris Doring, number 28. Steady, solid football player. Pretty good-sized target at 6'4" and 191 pounds.
And he's doesn't have great speed, so he has worked on his route running and his moves and turning the defensive back, and also having that clock in your head to make your break and get open when the quarterback is ready to throw you the ball.
Ball is just inside the 44 of Florida State. First down for the Gators. Werfel hands the ball off to Williams. Works his way in traffic to the 39. That's a pickup of close to 5.
Williams out of carry, stopped by Hamlet.
Running backs for the Gators are not big people, but they're hard to get a handle on, particularly Williams. Jackson showing some power running early on. The biggest of the bunch would be Fred Taylor at 215, but he's not out there.
Florida's kind of taken over this ball game since the beginning of the second quarter.
Werfel with a lot of time. Scoring down the middle of the field to the 20-yard line, and another first down with 1 minute and 4 seconds to play in the first half.
Clayton Doring, stopped by Hamlet.
Well, here's Goring right here. He
Florida.
wants to get down and throw the square in the center of the field. Fakes, and the back checks down. Stop it right here if you would. You see this back right here? It's pulling this linebacker up and allowing him to throw it over his head to the guy behind him. That's just good planning and good scheming.
And you've got a timeout at 53 seconds to play in the first half. 21-6. Gators are threatening again. Friday night at the movies, all tonight here on ABC. But a lot of people probably are curious about him.
Look at the numbers here. Cannell struggling, 8 of 21, 67 yards. Werfel, another big day.
First down just short of the 20. Danny back looking around, goes into the end zone for Gurley. Touchdown. That is a Southeastern Conference career record for Chris Doring, 30 career touchdown receptions.
And that one may have been the easiest one of all of them. You got to give credit to the players that execute it. But it's Spurrier that puts the system together and calls the plays at the right time.
Edmiston to the point. Good.
Well, here he is. He's just going to go downfield and break to the outside. He's going to have double coverage for these two receivers, but he's going to get inside the one in his face, the corner, release inside, up on the second one, and then break it to the outside, split the difference between them. And if I've got a quarterback that can throw him the ball perfectly, then I can run this offense. And that's what Spurrier has. He's got a quarterback that can throw it accurately, and he's got receivers. This one, not great speed, but just knows how to run routes and get open. He straightens it up on the second man, straighten it up. Now make you think you're going inside and break it out. Now right between the two of them. Now get the ball to me right now. I was at practice earlier in the season when the two of them, they were out there working. And Steve was out there throwing balls actually with the quarterbacks and running the routes. Now this is when you should throw it.
So the Florida Gators, with Doring's touchdown, have now scored 21 points in the second quarter. It's been a big quarter for them all season long. Teague will kick it away now with 47 seconds remaining. And the Towser-haired kid, Werfel, is having a big first time.
Took him a minute and 10 seconds to score that time.
High pop-up kind of a kick. We're on the 12-yard line for Rock Preston. But he doesn't get a whole lot, and once he fought the ball, he gets it out to the 23-yard line with 42 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Remember, a year ago, it was 31-3.
Good point.
after 3 quarters.
That's 28-6. Look at the total yardage in the second quarter. You know, I'm sure that the first thing out of both coaches' mouths at halftime is going to be, remember last year, remember what happened.
Those on first down from the 23, 42 ticks remaining. Sim done, and he's close to a first down. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Clock is rolling along. On second down and 1, Feaster is in the backfield. He's got the ball, he's got the first down, and that'll stop the clock as they move the chains out to about the 38. Now just 11 seconds remaining. Florida was the considered favorite in the view of those who discuss such things. Going on, if they win this game, to Saturday night in Atlanta against Arkansas for the SEC championship. The first half is done at Florida Field. And the Gators have been dominant, particularly in the second quarter as they scored 21 points and lead Florida State 28-6 at halftime.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Porsche. There is no substitute. And Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Stay tuned for the Prudential Halftime Report after this message and a word from our ABC station.
We're at halftime at Florida Field. The Gators are leading Florida State 28-6. Oh, look at that fellow. There'll be peace and quiet in the neighborhood, I would think. Weatherman owes me one. He kept promising all day yesterday that it was going to be warm and sunny, up close to 70 degrees, and I haven't worn a top coat in Central Florida since I can remember.
You've been spending too much time in sunny California. That's your problem.
I'm freezing to death. And the Florida State offense is sort of in a frozen stage as well. They haven't done much.
Well, they haven't, and they've been in the same situation last year, and I'm sure that's what Bobby Bowden is telling them. We've got the firepower. Danny Cannell needs to come out and be the leader, and they've got to stop him defensively and put on a show offensively in the second half.
But this secondary that Florida's got out on the field is a better secondary than they looked at last year.
Well, and think about this. Florida lost 3 defensive linemen in the first 6 rounds of the NFL draft, 2 in the first round. And Bobby Pruitt told me yesterday, he says, even given that, we're a better defense because we're smarter, we're more together, and our defensive secondary is playing more man coverage.
Well, let's play and see what happens in the second half. The Gators will kick it off. The Seminoles will have it. See what they can do with it. 28-6. The winner, very good chance they'll have a ticket to Tempe. So Matt Teague is going to hit it with Preston and Feaster deep for the Seminoles. Though it has been overcast and cool, it has not rained. It's at the 2-yard line for Rock Preston. He butted heads at the 20 and kept his balance and got it to the 31. And here's Lynn Swan.
Thank you, Keith. Bobby Bowden at halftime said some of the many things that Bob Greasy was talking about. Said his offense has got to make some plays. He just haven't made the plays. Too many drop balls. Said on defense, they have to pressure the quarterback, but they have to be careful when they do it, because when they pressure him and they come after him with the blitz, that Florida's tough and they will score points. And he said he will remind them of the 31-3 ball game they came back from to fire them up. Steve Spurrier said that's a negative. He didn't even mention it to his team in halftime, Keith.
Well, yeah, sure, Steve.
Understand why. Warwick Dunn tries it, and on the first carry gets flipped into the air after a yard or so.
Here's a look at the score at halftime last year. Florida was up 24-3. Florida went on to score another touchdown to make it 31-3 before they started coming back. This year, 28-6 in favor of the Gators.
Nose going with no huddle. Out of the shotgun. Danny Cannell, who's not had a big day yet, forces that one in. It is an incomplete forward pass. It's a short hop. Andre Cooper had double coverage.
Take a look at the halftime numbers. Total yardage, 304 for Florida, 246 of that through the air. The one turnover. The key stat that's not in there, Florida State has sacked Werfel 5 times. They made some big plays rushing and blitzing, but they've also given up some big plays in those blitz situations.
On 3rd and 9, Cannell has nobody to throw it to. That is an incomplete forward pass intended for Wayne Messam. So there was just nobody available for Cannell.
Well, that's a big series, the first one out. Take a look at what I said earlier. Cannell, keep calm in the swamp. He's not doing a very good job yet, and create turnovers. They did one and got 3 points off of it.
Sean Liss has had a pretty good day punting the ball and has another good one on the way, all the way down to the 25-yard line where Riddell Anthony fair catches.
For Florida, we said they need to keep Werfel clean. Well, I think they've done that. Although he's had 5 sacks, he's also thrown 4 touchdowns. And it's a done deal. Contain Warwick. You've done that pretty nicely, Gators. 51 rushing yards and 21 receiving.
Just starting the 3rd quarter of play. 28-6. The Gators now with their first possession of the second half. Elijah Williams and Dwayne Mobley in the backfield behind Danny Werfel. And the chain gang a little bit slow getting over there to put the marker down, but now they're ready to go.
Steve was talking to his wide receiver, wanting to split out a little wider. That's probably the idea pass. Nope.
Elijah Williams. Williams has had a pretty good day so far. I mean, he's their leading rusher coming into the ball game, and right now he's got 46 yards and 6 carries.
Yep. Each team had the ball 8 times in the first half. Here's a look at what Florida did with theirs. They started off poorly, but scored on 3 of their last 4 possessions, and they don't take a lot of plays. They don't need a lot of plays to score, as you see from that graphic.
Handed away on a ride to the fullback. A little bit of a old-fashioned belly series move there, and Orpheus Ross having none of it. He's rejecting.
Here's a look at what the offense has done in the first half. Werfel, 16, great first half, 3 touchdown passes. Williams leads the rushers with 49. Doring with 5 receptions and a touchdown. Hilliard has a touchdown, and Green also with a score.
Werfel back, goes underneath, right through the hands of Elijah Williams. Might have been behind him a little bit.
So both offenses come out and go 3 and out, so no advantage there. Defensively, the first half, Coward had 9 tackles and 3 sacks. Hammond and Hamlet, 2 safeties, had some tackles there also.
Robbie Stevenson is in to punt. His last one was a good one. Feaster is waiting. The play clock is ticking along.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Still 4th down.
Ron Zook, who coaches the special teams now, watching the punters, the punting team, have a little bit of problem here, but that'll back them up 5 yards, and they'll finally get it in motion. Seminoles ought to come out of here with pretty good field position. Feaster waiting under it at the 39, gets the hole and gets to midfield and finally puts it on the Gators side at the 49, where the Seminoles will go to work. Down by 22. You have a Ben Hill Griffin Stadium attendance record today at Florida Field, 85,711. The capacity is 85,260. Fire Marshal's taking a day off.
And it's
the reason, you know why the reason for that is, though? Media. They had 800 requests for media credentials. John Humanek could only honor 500 and something. But it's a record for any football game ever played in the state of Florida. All right, here come the Seminoles now. First down at the Gator 49-yard line. They got a problem, and part of the problem has to do with things like that, where the man is open, and Danny Cannell just simply didn't get the ball to him.
Got to get the ball. Got 8 possessions in the first half for Florida State. He had a field goal after the fumble recovery, and then on their 4th possession, they had it on the Florida 26-yard line and only could get a field goal out of it. So offensively, the Seminoles have not done much today.
That's thrown to Cooper, and Andre Cooper will get it about 8 yards on the play. So they'll be looking at 3rd down and 2.
Well, Cannell was 8 of 21, 67 yards in the first half. Dunn had 11 rushes, 51. Cooper was the leading receiver, 3 catches for 30 yards.
Those are not winning figures.
No, they're not. They're not for Florida State.
Cannell is sacked by Mark Campbell. Can't stand that long. Raiders won't let you.
We mentioned that the Gators lost 3 top defensive linemen. This is the one that came back. Campbell, 67, a brace on his left knee. He's had some knee problems. Fights through the block of Hernandez and just runs down Cannell. First sack for the Gators.
High booming kick into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, and let's update that Ohio State-Michigan ball game with John.
Keith, the Buckeyes came out trying to get something going, but Bobby Hoying, back to pass, is picked off by Charles Woodson at the 50-yard line. And Michigan marches from there, a 2-yard quarterback keeper by Brian Greasy, and right now the Wolverines lead 17-9. Keith.
Dad's eyes getting pretty wide.
I didn't teach him to do that. Those quarterback sneaks are not for me. you get your brains beat out jumping over the top, I want to tell you.
This pass is flipped out to Ike Hilliard, and he'll pick up 6-7 yards on the play. And those folks wearing those yellow jackets from Sun Country out in Arizona, watching that Michigan-Ohio State score, you know, their smiles are getting pretty wide now, I suppose. The Estebo folk. Because the Buckeyes don't stage a considerable comeback, they're going to get whooped. And they will no longer be number 2.
And they'll have undefeated Florida if they can get through this one and win next week against Arkansas.
Here's Werfel looking around. Here's the difference right there. Now, Werfel had time to look all the way across the field. Yep. And then picked his man and got his first down. Terry Jackson out of the backfield.
First down, Florida.
Well, the Nebraska Cornhuskers defense dominated the Oklahoma Sooners. We've got a shaken Florida State player down on the field. But I'll tell you what, when you start looking at what the Florida Gators bring to the ballpark offensively, it's scary. That could be Sam Cowart down on the field, shaken up, so we've got a timeout for him. CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. And BASF, we don't make a lot of products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. Sam Cowart was the man shaken up. Stinger in his neck. Been busy today.
Had a great day. Big time day.
The ball is out near the 31, where it's a first down for the Gators. They lead 28-6.
Up faking blitz, and Werfel is saying, all right, I'll change the play here.
I'll give it to Elijah. No, Terry Jackson. Jackson stayed at home right here in Gainesville. Picks up about 3-4 yards. Make it 3, call it second down and 7. And the day remains overcast and cool. Very comfortable for the players.
They didn't win an SEC championship here at Florida until Steve Spurrier came back to take over the reins.
Up the middle. Could drive a truck through it. And it's another first down, and there's a penalty flag. And number 75 comes off the field, Donnie Young. For the Gimpy. Penalties against the Gators.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards, spot of the foul. Still second down.
They didn't win an SEC championship till he came here, and next Saturday night in Atlanta, Georgia, they're going to play for a third successive.
And something that that people will remind Steve about is the 3 universities, the big universities in the state of Florida. Of the 3, it's the Florida Gators that have not won a national championship. Bobby Bowden has won 1, and the Miami Hurricanes have won 4. Of course, when you go out recruiting, those are some of the types of things that are brought up and mentioned.
Miami Hurricanes don't play in the SEC either.
That's true.
Pretty hard to go through the Southeastern Conference schedule without some scars. That's one of the
Dead
problems.
ball. Encroachment on the offense. 5 yards. Second down.
Well, the offense, after picking up the first down, are going the wrong way.
Both of these teams are highly penalized teams in their conferences. Steve talking to Brian Schottenheimer there, who is sending in the plays. If you look at Brian, I think his dad Marty is here.
Marty here?
Yeah, I think Marty came down for the ball game after the Thanksgiving Day game against Dallas.
Second down and 18 or so, at least. That ball is thrown down the middle. I mean, just absolutely perfectly laid into the hands of Ike Hilliard on the dead run between 2 defenders.
You just cannot do it any better than this. Hilliard is right here. He's going to come. The coverage is going to be there. There's a little pressure in Werfel's face. Somebody's at his feet. Look at this throw. You normally see that on Sundays, and this young man is just outstanding. Not a strong arm, very bright and very active.
Sam Coward is back on the field. Hilliard now has 5 catches for 118 yards.
Picked up that first down real quick with all those penalties, didn't it?
Yep. That is called time. Wants to talk to the boss with 8:40 to go in the third quarter. 7:30 Eastern Time. Next 7 here on ABC Sports. All right, it's first down for Florida now. The ball is on the 49-yard line. Seminole side of the field. Junkie Green trying to get around that corner, and number 6, Robert Hammond, won't let him.
Saved a big play there, boy.
Here's Lynn Swan.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago at the North Carolina game, the Florida State equipment truck suspiciously caught fire and all the equipment burned up. All their away game jerseys, everything else. And their equipment manager, Jimmy Calloway, this man sitting right here, in less than a weekend got his team back together. Over $300,000 worth of equipment. But everything you see for this Florida State team is all brand new, from helmets to shoulder pads to jerseys to socks, everything. They did not miss a day of practice thanks to this man. Pete?
Suspiciously, huh? Oh, look at this. Wasn't he down?
Did the referee blow the whistle?
No, but he looked to me like he was on his knees when he threw it. I guess not.
Yep.
That reminds you of that fella from Nebraska, Mr. Frazier, who threw one like that against Colorado.
Yeah. That piece that Lynn just talked about reminds me of let's take a look at this replay. Somebody's going to have a hold of Werfel, and that's Bull wearing a 58.
Missed him.
Oh, slaps at the ball, yeah. Somebody in the side got him sideways. I don't know if his knee was down or not.
I can't tell. Referee was standing right there, so apparently it was not. The ball is now on the 48-yard line. They gained 1 on the play.
In compliance with state law, smoking is prohibited in the main seating area, concourses, restrooms at Ford Field.
BC Rutgers yesterday, and so was West Virginia Pitt. Syracuse, Miami, that game has some considerable echo to it, too, doesn't it?
Big time. Big time.
Miami could wind up in what, the Orange Bowl, right?
Somebody's going to tie with Virginia Tech for the championship of the Big East. And Virginia Tech had just a great year.
But they're not going to get the big bowl.
They may not get the big bowl bid. They may get to the Sugar Bowl. But it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Elijah Williams, the single back. Danny Werfel giving some hand signals. Very quiet here in the stadium right now with a record crowd on hand because the Gators have the ball. He cannot deliver it, and the umpire throws a flag. Umpire threw the flag just as the ball was fluttering down.
That was a forward pass, and it was a blitz, and you got holding on Florida.
Yep. So the game has kind of run into a wall here.
Well, the defenses have taken over the first 4 possessions of the second half, 4 punts.
7:14 to go in the third quarter. So the mighty offenses have been stilled for the moment. And Florida State desperately needs some. They need a big dose. They're down by 28-6. Stevenson to punt. Best one of the day was a couple of 44-yarders. Killed one down on the 6-yard line. There's another flag. Low line drive. D. Feaster gets it back across the 25 to the 26. And let's see about the flag. Could be an offside there.
Feaster on the return stop by George. Flag.
Against Gators. Boy, they had a terrible series.
They may want him to punt this again because Feaster is an excellent punt returner.
Yeah, they might want him to do it again. They've got it up at the 26.
Texas with a big win over Baylor. Now they've got to beat Texas A&M to be in the Alliance.
Now they'll keep the ball where it is.
Here's a look at the quarterbacks today, the hits and the hurries. Cannell has been sacked 1 time. He's been hit 5 and hurried 4 others. And Werfel, although he's been sacked 5 times and hit 9, he has been much more productive because he holds the ball a little longer and has been throwing it deep.
Warwick Dunn heading outside, flips him and gets the first down. That's the best run of the day.
He is Mr. Excitement, that young man.
Warwick Dunn runs for about 13 yards, his longest game of the day.
Reminds me of Emmitt Smith, who Lynn talked to a little earlier today, the Dallas Cowboys. They throw him that little swing pass behind the line of scrimmage, and you know that the first linebacker up or defensive back is not going to tackle him.
Cannell throws to the sidelines, complete. He's out of bounds.
He's way out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Way out of bounds.
Here's Swanee again.
Well, Emmett, you have some observations about this game. Share them with us.
I don't think it's going to be a 4-quarter comeback like it was last year up in Tallahassee. 1, we got our fans here in the swamp. 2, they're playing on the road. 3, these guys ain't forgot about last year either. So, and not only that, but Lucky Charm is on our side this weekend.
Who's the Lucky Charm?
I guess all
number 22.
All the players coming back. The last time I was at a Florida First State game, we won.
So you're the Lucky Charm.
Might be.
Second down and 10. Cannell has a man wide open and hits him. Cooper. And Cooper's forward progress will be down to about the Gator 46-yard line for a first down.
You know, Lynn was talking a little earlier about that equipment truck for Florida State losing it. You know, when I was playing, there was a lot of guys that never wanted the equipment man to even clean their helmet during the week, let alone change it for a game. And I can just imagine there was a lot of favorites, a lot of superstition, coaches wanted to wear the same pair of pants, the same socks each week, shoes.
Cannell looking around and throws it into the crowd out of bounds. It was intended for Riley, number 15.
Remember, when I first went with the Dolphins, we had a guy by the name of Wahoo McDaniels. He was a linebacker, and you never got near his locker, let alone his helmet, because and that thing at the end of the year, you know, you could smell it from across the room where my locker was. But don't touch his helmet. Guys are funny about that.
Second down and 10. Dunn. There he goes. There he goes. Tough run. First down. Seminoles at the Florida 16. Tico Brown kept him out of the end zone. 6:15 to play in the third quarter.
We mentioned the game story is Dunn, and I think Dunn is a kind of a security blanket for Cannell. The better Dunn does, maybe Cannell could have, come on, nobody can tackle him. He just runs through tackles. That's how he hit the angle.
Rock Preston gives him a breather. Has the ball going right up the middle. Inside the 10, down to about the 9. That's a pretty good game. Close to 8 yards for Rock Preston.
Bobby's got the headset. Bobby's got the headset on now.
Is this the beginning of a comeback?
Might be.
Clay Schreiber hopping around on the sideline, yelling at his pal. Can't play
Here they
anymore.
come.
Bad knee. Goes to Preston. He's inside the 5. He's got a first and goal for Florida State. Down around the 2-yard line. Dunn's back in. And whistle stop him. There were people still running on and off the field.
Well, it was because of the hurry-up offense of Florida State. Florida didn't have their goal line personnel in there and called timeout. Bobby runs that speed-up, hurry-up offense even on the goal line.
The Gators have 1 timeout remaining. Tomorrow night on ABC, a full hour of America's Funniest Home Videos and a brand new Lois and Clark, then Bill Murray and Andy McNowell in the network premiere of Groundhog. Groundhog Day, the best way to wrap up your holiday weekend. Tomorrow night here on ABC. I saw that movie. I enjoyed it.
Well, here's a look at the top 25. Ohio State is losing, and Tennessee is losing. Florida State.
Those 3 lose. It's going to
shake up the whole top 7, wouldn't it? Ooh. Syracuse and Miami played tonight.
The ball is just inside the 3-yard line. Let me find out what the official's going to call it. The 3 or the 2? It'll be the 3. The ball is actually touching the 3-yard spot. So it's first and goal. Florida State at the Gator 3. It's done. He's in there. Touchdown for the Seminoles. And the Gator hurt on the play. Ben Hanks. Warwick Dunn, 15 carries, 100 yards, and now a touchdown.
It's a little interesting, Keith. Look at this. You've got 5 guys to the left of the center, only 2 over here, but yet when they run the play, they're going to run it to the short side of the field. Bates was there to make the play, but Dunn just got underneath him.
Hanks is being assisted a bit as he comes off the field. He's shaken up quite a bit.
They're down 16 points now, Keith. Everybody's got one of these things where you know when to go for 2 points and when not to go for 2 points. It's a chart that most all the coaches have in the press box, and it's a time-worn thing that if you're down by 16, it's beneficial to go by 2 because it gets you down Only be down by 14 if you make it. That's 2 touchdowns. So there's a time to go for it.
A big difference. Between 12 and 14.
Yeah.
And you're trailing. All right. Canal's up under center. Dunn comes in motion, becoming a receiver, and Canal back to throw. Dunn, good. He throws to Green for the 2 points, and it's a 28-14 ball game with 5.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Well, everybody has a 2-point play. That Florida State, they just kept sending guys out, motioning, and the defense was confused.
That's the first time today that the Seminole offense has looked sprightly.
Yes.
And it was keyed by the runs of Warwick Dunn.
It's a big play, big confidence builder right there for Danny Cannell. Has not had a good day. And I think the better that Warwick Dunn does, I think the better that Danny Cannell will do, because I think Dunn is kind of the pacifier, is the security blanket with Danny Cannell. It would be for me if any quarterback would have a back that close that can run and catch the ball. If he's doing well, it just picks everybody else up on the team.
It depends entirely on your perspective here as to whether or not you want to say, well, the pressure now shifts over to the Florida offense to respond, or does it shift over to the Florida State defense to hold them?
I'd say it's on the Florida State defense to hold them,
because their team is down by 14 points. Scott Bentley will kick off with Green and Anthony, the deep people, for the Gators. Not too deep. Makes it at the 8-yard line. It's Green. And he finds his way out to about the 27. Sort of put down right on the 26. So now let us see.
Yeah, Lynn said he talked to Steve coming out at the second half, and Steve said that he didn't mention last year's game at all to him. Well, I'll guarantee you, one of those coaches in there mentioned it to him if it wasn't Steve, because that's, you know, it's don't let this happen again. He says that's, you know,
has he gone a little conservative?
Well, I don't. He ran the ball well in the first half. I don't think he's going to be conservative on this drive right here. I think you're going to see him open it up again.
Okay. Orfeld comes out on first down, lets it go down the middle for Hilliard. He's got it. There's your answer. Touchdown. Yards, giving Hilliard 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 192 total yards on the day. They don't like to see us come to town. Every time we show up, we have a big day. Edmiston for the point. 35-14 Gators.
The two things that Stroyer does with his offense, Steve, we've talked about it. One, he spreads you from sideline to sideline with the 3 wide receivers. Hold it a minute. Now, then he's going to spread you vertically the way he throws the ball down the field. Hilliard, go ahead and run it. Hilliard was spread out. He had the defensive back spread. Now look at it. Hold it right there. You've got one-on-one. You've got one-on-one down here. Go ahead and run it. Now you've thrown it on the defensive back. You spread them by the alignment. You spread them sideline to sideline, and then you stretch them vertically down the field. Here's from behind. Little play action on first down. Holds the safety at the top. That's Hamlet. Great throw. Good speed, got the ability, get your speed receivers down there.
And I'll be surprised if that doesn't turn out to be a will breaker.
Werfel says, we've done that before. Just a little class right there.
That is the 70th team touchdown for the Florida Gators this year, which is a season record in the SEC. This is Brock Weston. Waited too long to commit himself, and so he stopped at the 19-yard line. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, you were talking about Steve Spurrier and what he did at halftime. One of the things he also said was the way they were able to score in the first half was that they were able to find enough time to protect the quarterback. He said if he can give Danny, his quarterback, the time, that he will get the ball in the air and in the end zone. And another thing struck me about this team when they came out in the field, they're all making train noises, Keith. They're all saying this train is not going to stop until the game is over. They're looking for another 30 points in the second half.
First down at the 19 now for the Noles as Cannell rolls out. Gets his pass off, and he's got a man out there, and he caught the ball. Great catch by E.G. Green, and a first down all the way down to the Florida 46-yard line. Update on Ohio State, Michigan from John Saunders.
Keith, Eddie George having a pretty good day as well. He's up around 100 yards, and he takes this one in for a touchdown. They go for the two-point conversion on the straight handoff, and George gets to the one, so it's still a two-point game. Keith.
Well, that tightens things up into a feverish fervor. Yes. That big old Michigan Stadium.
First down at the 46 now as the Noles try to come back with another one. This is done. First man got his hands on him, Anton Lott. He could not hold him, and he'll get a half a dozen yards out of it.
Go back and take a look at the catch before we took that update. E.G. Green, this was a throw. The ball hit the ground before he had possession of it, but fortunately for the Seminoles, the official was not on that side of his body to see it.
And they don't give him the half a dozen yards it looked like he might have had. He got only two because he hit the chalk. Here goes Dunn the other way. Look at that cut. First down.
Is this kid good or what?
Whoa. They had him nailed to the wall, and he just planted and cut back and picked up 8 yards, 9 yards, and moved the chains.
Ben Hanks, what a great career he's had here at the University of Florida. They unretired Steve Spurrier's number. Steve brought it out of retirement, so this is a good kid. The fifth-year senior, he's going out. This is his last game here at Florida Field.
He's already got his degree.
Yes, he does.
On first down, Cannell wants to go big. He's got Cooper, and he can't come in with it. Lott covering on the play. It'll be second down and 10. Here's Linton.
Well, Keith, if you count the officials, you'll find that you're one short because Tommy Hutt, the backfield judge, just went into the locker room. He felt a hamstring pop, and so he went out. There is no backup judge official on the field, so they're going with 6 for a while here. Keith?
Pulled a hamstring, huh?
Trying to run with all those kids.
That's true. Can't run with these guys.
Brock Weston in the backfield. Gets a block for his quarterback. And then he throws it into coverage. There was one receiver. Now there are 2 receivers and 5 blue shirts.
Well,
that's not very good odds.
So there's no question that the defense of the Gators, the secondary, is covering man-to-man a lot. But there are some balls that should be completed that are being thrown a little bit high by Danny Cannell.
Third and 10. Down the middle. Green caught it and held on.
Great catch, that is.
I mean, Green took the punishment, and Tico Brown is down on the field. Green and Brown, 2 colors.
Right here.
Banged together with fierce blow.
Right here. And look at this. The safety right in the middle of the field. He has a clear shot at this. The receiver knows he's going to get hit. Take a look at it from the goalpost cam at the end of the field. Cannell looking the whole way. Receiver hangs on. Tough catch.
E.G. Green has made 2 big plays in this possession for Florida State.
Tico Brown, the defensive back, is the one that stays down. It's maybe a shoulder, maybe got the wind knocked out of it.
It looked like he got hit in the upper shoulder area, didn't it? 3:48 to play in the 3rd quarter. 35-14. Seminoles stuck it in the end zone. 1 play. Florida answered.
You know what's happening here is Florida State, offensively at least, is coming alive. The last 2 offensive drives, Cannell has hit some passes, and they're moving the ball. So we may have a few more points scored in this ball game, boss.
Could be. Well, I got Brown turned over, and they're now talking to him, apparently. Coming up next, after the ball game, we'll start coverage of the Skins game with defending champion Tom Watson, getting the challenge from Fred Couples, Corey Pavin, and Peter Jacobson. Corey and Peter are rookies in this. It'll be from the Deserts, Palm Deserts, Bighorn Golf Club.
Since you shot your age a while back, were you invited to play in that?
No.
I'll take my man Corey Pavin and give you the other 3.
Oh, you would you?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'd take them all, but take my man Corey.
He's a gamer.
He is. And they may need two microphones on Jacobson. He may wear out one.
Mike Harris replaces Tico Brown as he comes off the field to collect himself. He's working all right. Warwick Dunn and Pooh Bear Williams in the backfield. Pooh Bear's in front. Warwick following him on 1st down from the 15. He's close to a 5-yard gain on the play. Pooh Bear Williams, a 266-pound sophomore. He just gets out there like a pulling guard and lets it rip.
He doesn't carry the ball much. Pooh Bear is a blocker and sometime receiver.
Give him 4, make it 2nd down and 6.
Good defense.
Dunn in there for about a yard. He'll now have 1,235 yards, and that'll break Sammy Smith's Florida State season rushing record. Warwick Dunn's got a year to go.
Gained over 1,000 yards last year in addition, so that's 2 years in a row. Outstanding player.
3rd and 6. 3rd and 5, actually. Shotgun for Cannell. Nobody. Now he throws it in the back of the end zone. Cooper got a hand on it, but couldn't reel it in.
You're right. Nobody got open.
Update, Michigan, Ohio State. John.
Pass intended for Cooper.
Keith, the Ohio State Buckeyes give up 124 yards a game on the ground. In this one, Tim Biakabatuka alone has over 300 yards. Clarence Williams, that was an 8-yard touchdown run for him. 24-15 the score. Keith.
That's just shocking to me that Biakabatuka has gotten loose that much.
You can't stop the run. That's the first thing defensively you have to do.
Well, if Michigan beats them, then Northwestern is headed for Pasadena.
That's exactly right. What a story that is, huh?
That'll keep you and me entertained.
Dowden decides to go for a field goal here, down 21 points.
Well, it is not a fake, as you might have suspected or have been suspicious of. He knocks it through, and that'll make it a 35-17 ball game.
That speaks very well. He's got a lot of confidence in his offense, and he can come back plenty of time to score.
2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. As for the condition of Tico Brown, here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, they brought him up to the sideline. He has a concussion. They will sit him down on the bench for a while, see how he responds. He is not necessarily out of the ball game for the rest of the day. And when you commented about the way he was walking, you should have seen it from this angle. It looked like his legs were just rubber. They just barely got him over to that bench.
You knew that walk, huh, Lenny?
I'm very familiar with that walk.
You've been there before, huh?
I'll tell you, he will always remember that he was up in this ball game. If something were to dramatically change, he'll never remember the comeback.
Yeah, you don't have a slight concussion. I mean, I'd be very surprised if he comes back to play today.
You don't mess around with those things.
No.
And we've had a lot of concussions this year at all levels of football.
I think all of college football and pro football, Keith, the players are making, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're hitting each other with more force, and it's outstanding play, as you've seen some great collisions here today. But the body is still the same, the head is still the same. If you hit them in the head, they're going to have concussions.
The kickoff by Bentley goes down to the 4-yard line for Green. Pretty good return.
Yeah, give Ron Zook, the special teams coach for the Gators. He's done a good job all year long. They've blocked 7 punts as the Gators. They've returned the ball very well.
This possession will start at the 39-yard line.
If Florida State is to get back in this game, their offense seems to be coming alive. Their defense has to stop, or at least slow down the Gators.
Well, last time he went big on first down the middle. This time he runs it. Goes to Elijah Williams, and a penalty flag. Holding Gators.
There's a bunch of booing going on because the faithful here thought there was a late hit. So did Steve. There's Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator. So there's no easy way. You have to mix it up. You have to blitz some. Blitzes were good early. In fact, they have 5 sacks on the day of Werfel, but the secondary has just not held up. When you put man-to-man coverage, the receivers for Florida have beaten the defensive backs for the Seminoles. And of course, Werfel has had a great day just getting them the ball.
He's poison for him. Matt Hilliard, every time he gets that thing, something exciting happens. For a change, they're able to collar him and contain him.
I kill you. I'll tell you, he was something else, something special. He went out a little bit earlier with an injury, came back.
Well, he had a big day in that Tennessee game, remember?
Yep, I sure do.
Huge day.
They don't have a shortage of wide receivers here at Florida.
Working all day. And throws the ball behind Hilliard. And the pass is incomplete.
Couldn't see. He had a pile of people right in front of him, and he couldn't see. Ended up throwing it behind him.
And he is now 21 of 29 for 359 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Every time the Florida State band kicks up their little war chant over there in the corner, the rest of the 83,000 start booing.
Danny's got all that.
Same play.
Same play. Same result.
Looked like the same coverage, too. This is the play that Steve was showing us on the board yesterday, Len and I. He got just exactly what he wanted. Except the man in the slot who he was throwing it to couldn't shake loose.
So they'll have to punt. At 1:07 to play in the third quarter, 35-17 ball game. And Elijah Williams, shaken up, is coming off the field. So there's several folks being dinged up. And the leg going up also through the hands of Stevenson, and the Seminole clobbering. Back inside the 10-yard line on a bad snap from center. Kevin Johnson couldn't get the ball back to him. Right through his hands.
Snap was a little high and wobbly. You got to put that one on the center to begin with, but the punter could have come down with it. Big turnover in this ball game for the Seminoles.
It's first and goal, Florida State at the Florida 8-yard line. 1 minute exactly to go in the third quarter. Warwick Dunn in the backfield with Bear Williams as they work out of the shotgun. Cannell looking around. He's got Cooper. Touchdown.
Cannell's warming up, just like last year.
Oh, my. Don't tell me folks are thinking about last year.
Yeah.
You could hear the breath go out of this place. 35-23, 53 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Bobby's thinking they're both, as I mentioned earlier, they both average over 45 points. In fact, the Gators average 47, Seminoles average 51. So Bobby was thinking, hey, we're going to score a bunch more points. And you know Steve's thinking about it.
1-point drive. Henry squibbed it through there. Wasn't terribly authoritative, but it was in, and it's 35-24.
Watch Cannell on this one here as I get this thing going. Here's Cannell. He's going to look to this side for the longest of times, but he's going to come back and hit Cooper from the opposite side of the field. It's not easy to do this. Watch, he's going to look to the right side of the screen. He's looking. Oh, he's covered. Now I see going high to the back of the end zone. That's something you work on, but very dangerous. You've got to make sure you get it over all of the defenders and in between them. Danny Cannell is warming up. And a special teams problem there for the Gators. Set up that touchdown.
The deep people for Florida. Green and Anthony. And it is Green. He's taken down in a hurry by number 52 for the Seminoles, and they're coming around. Linebacker. They'll put the ball at about the 22-yard line, where it's first down for Florida.
The Seminoles know the history of this series, Steve. And the facts are, in the last 9 games, Florida has only won 1 time. There's been 1 tie, and Florida State has won the other 7. So they're 7-1-1 against the Gators in the last 9 years.
9 of 12 Florida possessions gone into FSU territory, though. So let's see what happens. They can hit the ship quickly. We got Jackson and Evans in the backfield. He's standing wide open, Waddell Anthony. And he just makes the catch for first down. 2 more yards. It's first down for the Gators at the 36-yard line. Here's 20.
Keith, number 25, Elijah Williams, was taken into the locker room. The team doctor for Florida said he has a right shoulder separation, and they are taking him over to the infirmary to get x-rays done at this moment.
That's bad news for next week.
Well, Fred Taylor, another tailback, is out. They've had injuries at that position all year.
This is Jackson carrying, Terry Jackson. You can never have too many running backs.
That is the truth. And Terry Jackson was not even counted on early in the season. With the injuries to Fred Taylor and now Elijah Williams, he's gotten a lot of playing time.
Down to the final seconds of the third quarter. Florida 35, Florida State 24. Back for the finish after this message and a word from our ABC station. The The score, based around that sign, is 35-24. The only sage advice that is available at this juncture I would suggest to you is hold on to your seat and try to breathe. Second down at 6 for Florida at their own 40. Back goes Danny Worker. Pressure coming. Steps away from it. Loops the pass out. Good to Evans. He's wide open. Big play. And the big old fullback puts that ball down inside the 25-yard line. First time they've run that play all day.
Well, you're right, and it's only the third pass that Evans has caught all day. I mean, all season. Here's Evans. It's a play action. The wide receivers are going to clear everybody out. But out here on the side, the linebackers, it's man coverage, and they get fouled up on which one to cover. Evans down here, third reception of the year.
Well, his defender saw that big old fullback coming down there on a full head of steam, and Sean Hamlet said, I need some help. Pass to the corner for Doring. He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds.
I'm not so sure. That was a great catch and a poor throw by Werfel. That ball could have been thrown a little bit better to the inside. There's a good look right here on Capers, 23. A little fade route. He had a step on him. Let's see. Ball, foot, possession?
No.
Huh?
Not when it went out of bounds.
I don't know.
Close call.
I think you got a split vote up here.
Doesn't matter. The man down there in that funny shirt said he was out of bounds.
And he didn't have a replay either.
Second down and 10. Danny looking at him again. He's got it right through his hand this time. I mean, that ball was right where it had to be for Chris to
Werfel knew that it could have been a completion. Here's a previous play. The official has to look through the receiver. You know, one guy cannot do that. One guy cannot see if he has possession of the ball and look at the foot at the same time. Just can't do it.
It's still third down and 10.
They're short in the
Back judge is not out there. Yeah, he's gone.
That's right.
Werfel going the other way. See what's over there, and same result. Incomplete. Intended for Riddell Anthony. Well,
Steve thinks, well, he's still thinking about it. He forgot to tell the field goal team. He said of 3 times we should have completed at least one of those for a touchdown. Their field goal kickers don't get many opportunities. Only 4 of 8 on the year.
It's a pretty good size, 42 yards. But it's pretty big, too, if he can get it. Oh! Short. Didn't quite get the hand. I don't think the snap and the hole were totally together on it. The whole thing was a little bit out of sync, but it didn't work. Replay of the field goal try. Was a little late getting down. Just didn't have enough on it.
Florida's offense doesn't rely on field goals. They've scored 69 touchdowns this year and only 4 field goals.
He probably woke Bart up and said, go in and try a field goal. He said, huh?
Yeah.
Say what?
You want me to do something?
Say what?
It's not an extra point, it's a field goal?
All right, first down for the Seminoles, just short of the 25. And Cannell back. Slammed by Hanks. Ben Hanks hammered him in the back, and it's an incomplete forward pass. Spurrier is irate about something on the sideline.
He thought it should be a fumble, obviously. Well, let's see. I think it's going to be Hanks, isn't it? Coming on a blitz. Ben Hanks. I can't tell from that angle.
You know what? Spurrier's right.
I can't tell. Let's see.
Spurrier's right.
If his arm is going up or forward. It just started up. It just started up.
Cannell's pass has got a man over there. That's Cooper. And Cooper's out to the 45-yard line. That is a first down. Move the chains, and here's Swanee.
Keith, I talked to the official about what happens when you lose the back judge, and they said that the two judges deep in the backfield on the far side to the field, what they have to do is get deeper and then come in faster, and then the line judges will move back. When they do that, they're not going to be in the best of position to call the close plays on the sideline, Keith.
Yeah, they definitely needed the back judge, who was usually the field judge, who was usually in the middle of the field.
This is done. Slicing into the middle for about 5 yards up close to midfield. Time remaining, 13 minutes and 30 seconds. 11-point lead for the Gators at 35-24. Put it on the 49 for second down and 6. Fourth 6. Nothing doing. Little bit of a mix-up in the backfield there. Dunn couldn't quite break free and get himself planted before Ed Chester could get a hold of him. Ooh-wee, there's big things happening in Ann Arbor, folks. We'll tell you about it after this next play.
And they're smiling in Evanston, Illinois.
Loss of a yard and a half on that last play. Cannell now rolls it out, gets his pass away, and it's completed to E.G. Green. No, they're saying you dropped it, son. You didn't have control of it. And he finds it hard to believe, and here's John Sunders.
And Keith, here's what you were talking about. Brian Gracie goes to Jay Remirsma, and he hauls it in down the sidelines, gets it down inside the 5-yard line, and Tim Biakabatuka, this man once again punches it across. He has 306 yards on this game against a team that averages about 120, and you can see in Evanston the cheers are up. 31-15, Keith.
Spinning, beautiful kick back to the 10-yard line where Riddell Anthony fair catches it. Oh, a lot of strange things happening on this final Saturday of the football season. CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By True Value, no matter what you need, help is just around the corner. By the Norelco Razor, for our closest shave ever. And U.S. Navy, you and the Navy, full speed ahead. Florida's ball, first down at their own 10, with 12 minutes and 17 seconds to play in the ball game. Terry Jackson is in the backfield. Remember, Elijah Williams may have a separated shoulder, and Jackson will have a yard. That's all. Sam Coward and Todd Rebold on the tackle. You know who's had a quiet day as far as having his name called? Is Darrell Bush.
Bush, he's been in there, and he's been a factor, but Coward has had a huge day. Bush just goes out when the nickelback came in.
Mobley is now at tailback. He's a fullback who's now at tailback. And Werfel taken down inside the 5-yard line. Got to be Coward. Oh, it's Boulware. 58, not 56. Boulware.
Came in with 8 sacks on the season. He leads the ACC in sacks. Boulware does. He and his teammate Wilson have the same number now. They both have 9 on the year.
It is now 3rd and 15 for Florida. Ball is back at their own 4. Seminoles trying to hold them, trying to get field position, get the ball back, and Werfel out of his end zone. Goes down the middle of the field and completes the scoring for a first down.
No way.
You're right.
When Werfel saw that, he just waited and hoped that he had enough time. The way he stepped up in the pocket, you knew he's going to have a receiver open because he stepped up confidently and threw it.
6 catches for Doring, 112 yards and a touchdown. But he'll not have a bigger one than that. A little option move down the line and the pitch to Terry Jackson, and he turns it across to about the 38-yard line. If time permits, we'll have the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report, the scores and highlights from around the country. So put the marker down and march off another 10 yards with a change. And first down for the Florida Gators.
The Gators break out a little option, and Danny Werfel, you don't want to run that too often with him, and they don't. But that was a critical time, and he got hit pretty good after he pitched.
Jackson remains the man deep in the backfield. Florida now starting to eat up a little real estate, and more importantly, take some time off the clock as Terry Jackson runs for another first down.
You know, the amazing thing, Keith, is that we've only had 1 turnover in this entire ballgame. And that's what Florida State needs now. They need a turnover.
Well, they had one very, very early on. 20.
Well, Keith, Terry Jackson is in a long line of number 22s for Florida, and I'm not talking about the likes of Emmitt Smith. You see, in 1990 to 93, his brother Willie Jr. wore that number, as well as his father Willie Sr. from 69 to 71. And with Steve Spurrier allowing number 11 to be on the field, I doubt the 22 might ever be retired.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. He's a pretty good-looking running back, I tell you. He's not all that big, 201 pounds, but he can move the stack. We've seen him do it on 3 occasions so far today. He now has 75 yards on 11 carries for the touchdown.
We did the Gators earlier in the year against Tennessee when both Taylor and Williams were hurt, and Jackson played very well.
Second down and 5. And Florida now just kind of hunkering down because they want to burn up some clock. And they're moving it on the ground. There's that little option action again going to Jackson. And he will have another first down, but there is a penalty flag. Update Ohio State, Michigan with John.
Still second down.
Keith, the Buckeyes trying to make one last march. Bobby Hoying back to pass. Spots Buster Tillman. Touchdown. They go for the 2-point conversion. Eddie George out of the backfield catches the pass. They have the 2 points, and now within 8. 31-23. Keith.
Who didn't expect that.
Tie, though, a tie would still send Northwestern.
Yeah.
Tie would still send Northwestern.
It is now second down 11 after the holding penalty. Werfel's pass is away to the sidelines, complete. Guess who? Who is the money man? Chris Doring.
Just draw your attention to Doring. Capers is the defender. This ball is thrown right on time. He breaks, and the ball is out there. There it comes. You know, that guy is good enough. He doesn't have great speed, but he's good enough to play at the next level. Chris Doring.
39-yard line, first down for the Gators on the Seminole side of the field with 8.5 minutes to play in the ball game. 35-24, Gators lead. Terry Jackson can't get his engine running on that one, and he will lose the yard.
I think Steve is aware of the fact that we need to take some time off the clock. He's run a couple of option plays to get some yardage, and he's up by 11. I'd like to see that clock continue to run.
Second down. Werfel and Jackson almost run together. And finally, number 85, Andre Wadsworth, drags Jackson down as he gets to the 36. So he's 7 yards away from a first down as they come up on the third down snap.
Here's a look at Eric Kresser, the backup quarterback. Set a record against Northern Illinois of 458 yards. And the starting quarterback is about to break the backup quarterback's record. 444 yards in this game for Werfel.
3rd and 8. Intercepted. They got in his face. He tried to dump it off, and it is intercepted by Renard Wilson. But is there a penalty flag somewhere back upfield?
Illegal motion.
It's against the Gators. Seminoles refuse it. Florida State's ball with 7:01 to play in the game.
Pressure on the quarterback, and he tried to hit his outlets as the back was trying to slip through. That's another turnover, big turnover.
These guys could wear you out. You know that?
What he's going to try and hit the back right here. He's going to step up and block. Now watch, as when the pressure gets there, he's going to try and pressure comes, little blitz. Back picks up the blitz. Now he's getting pressured. He wants to hit the back that was blocking, and the man that was being blocked by the back intercepted the ball.
So it's first down at the 41-yard line. And Warwick Dunn will pick up 3. The coach. Agonizing. Second down and 7.
Giving hand signals to the wide receivers.
Going deep for Cooper. Intercepted on the ricochet by Antoine Lott. And coming back.
Well, we talked about turnovers earlier. There weren't many, but there's been a barrage of them here lately. Checked off to a streak down the sideline. Looked like that Lott may have interfered with Cooper. Then Cooper may have pushed off. And then Lott finally makes a good play. Looks like to me that's the defensive interference. And then offensive shoved him out of the way. That's just a good reaction by
That's
Lott.
an incredible play.
Yeah, it is. And some good camera work by our crew, yeah.
Come at this point of the ball game, it's just incredible. Florida first down on the 30-yard line. I mean, Cooper had the ball on his hands in the end zone and then lost it. Boom, it's back out at the 30.
Ooh. Well, let's see what Steve goes to here. He's been throwing the ball all year. He just had one picked off in a strange manner, but still in all, it was strange when he picked off. He had another turnover that gave FSU a touchdown on a bad snap from a punt formation. So a couple of turnovers. Maybe it's time just to hold on to the ball, see if you can run it.
5 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the game. Whistle, stop it. 35-24, Florida. Penalty flag.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Second down.
It'll be second down and 13 now after the 5-yard penalty.
That's a big interception there. I mean, Florida looked, they could have got Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator who had pressure forced that interception by Werfel, and then Florida State gave it right back.
Werfel flips it up the field, and it's incomplete, intended for Jerome Evans.
Let's go back one more time and look at this. Florida State, if they hit this in the end zone, they're only down by 4, but little hand fighting, hand checking going on. He could have caught it. Then it was intercepted.
But that's a wonderfully alert play by Lott to realize where he was, where the ball was, all of that.
Yep.
Return it some 30-odd yards.
Lott's made some big plays. He's forced 4 fumbles and recovered 1 this year. That was his first interception of the year.
We're inside 5 minutes at 4:57. Werfel looking around, is hit from behind. The ball flying around.
I don't know. I think he's going to say that was. I think that was a fumble. He's ruling that as a fumble.
Ruling it a fumble. He did not wave it off as an incomplete forward pass.
And look, let me see. Let's see if his arm is coming forward on this one, up or forward. No, that was his arm was not coming up. That was a good call by the referee. The referee's made 2 good calls. It's Mawsey. Courtney Mawsey is the referee.
So it is 4th down and 21. Robin Stevenson is in the ball game, and Robbie needs to hit one here for the Gators. At 4:10. Gets it out, and he did hit a good one. He's run Feaster back up the field. Ball bouncing around, and he has no chance to return it.
Kicked it over his head.
All the way down to the Florida State 17-yard line. There is a penalty flag on the ground back at about the 38 on the Florida side of the field. As of the moment, that's a 61-yard punt. Longest ever for Stevenson. They're discussing the penalty flag.
During the kick on the offense.
Gators have made a lot of mistakes here in this first quarter, Bob.
Well, they have, and you know, the Gators have always been a highly penalized team. They're 10th out of 12 teams in the Southeastern Conference as far as being most penalized.
They've been in a position to kind of slam the door on this thing, and they just can't do it. So this is going to make them come back, and they're going to lose that 61-yard punt.
Have a hole during the kick on the offense. 10 yards, previous spot, still 4th down.
And
here's Lynn Swan.
Chief, Elijah Williams, number 25, after x-rays were taken, that separated shoulder was downgraded to a sprained right shoulder. He is back on the sideline, but if he can't get back in the ball game, can't play, obviously he is not going to be a very happy young man. He came out inside and he tested his shoulder a little bit, but as you can see, he's walking around without his helmet. You know what that means. They took it away from him. They just don't want him to run back out there.
Well, they need him next week, too.
Well, this kid running punt returning, Feaster, is very good. He's an outstanding punt returner.
So they lose a 61-yard punt on the hold call, and now Stevenson's back in the end zone, hits it on the 1, and this is end over end coming up field, and Feaster needs to pick this one up and move it back up the field, and he does. Almost popped out of there with it, but they get him just inside the 45. 3 minutes and 47 seconds to play. .347 to play in the ball game. An 11-point lead for Florida. Put it on the 45-yard line and call it first down for Florida State.
Where that punt, where they would have gotten the punt was on the 17-yard line. Where it is now, penalty for Florida effectively was 39 yards on the penalty. That much of field position.
Cannell's pass quickly to Preston. And he's taken down inbounds at the 41. So it's a short pass, short gain, and the clock continues to run.
Each team, Keith, has had the ball 15 different times. This is the 31st possession of the ball game. That is a lot of possessions.
Second down and 7. Cannell down the middle, too high, intercepted by Mike Harris. That may do it. Mike Harris, who came on in relief of the injured Tico Brown, made the interception.
Just overthrew it. Here's the receiver. Here's the defensive back right here. They want to hit the square in. Just throws it a little bit too high. If he would have waited a little longer, may not have had time to wait with the pressure that was being put on him. If he waited a little bit longer, it would have been a lot clearer in the center of the field. Florida ball at the Florida State 43. And this is Terry Jackson. Down to the 36. And update again from John.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. We want to do this comparison of the two most talked about Heisman hopefuls. Yesterday, you see the numbers for Tommy Frazier. Eddie George today, over 100 yards, but he's losing, and that could hurt him. Back to you.
Second down and 3. Florida trying to burn the clock. Give it to Jackson. And he's close. In fact, he's got a first down. Big first down as we go 2:17 to play.
What you want to do now is just take some time off the clock. If you've got a running game, now is the time you want to use it.
Ball up to 32. Gators have slowed their pace now. They're using all they can on that play clock. Werfel standing, watching it go to 5, 4, 3, takes it on 2, gives it to Terry Jackson, and he's cut down quickly. Next Saturday here on ABC Sports, a college football triple header. Starts with Army-Navy. That's at noon. Then at 3:30 Eastern, Longhorns and the Aggies. And then 7:30 in the evening, these Florida Gators and Arkansas in the SEC Championship game presented by Dr. Pepper here on ABC Sports.
Gators had 93 yards rushing. Watch him run it right down to 2 or 3 seconds. No, he snapped a little earlier.
And the play is behind the line of scrimmage defensively, so they lose a couple of yards on that play. And 1:11 left to play in the ball game. Time called. The Gators leading by 11. The genuine Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Sam Coward for Florida State, 13 tackles so far, 3 sacks. For Florida, Danny Werfel, 25 out of 39, 443 yards and 4 touchdowns. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund for outstanding students and their academic achievements. No remaining backs. Everybody spread out from sideline to sideline as Werfel runs a quarterback draw. And he does not get the first down, I don't think. Now again, let's check in with John.
All right, thanks a lot, Keith. Ohio State and Michigan again. Bobby Hoying trying to mount one last drive. He's picked off by the freshman Charles Woodson, who was Ohio State Player of the Year in high school last year, doing it to his hometown state. and he takes off his second interception of the day. There's the reaction in Evanston, as Northwestern knows, in all likelihood, they are now headed to the Rose Bowl because Michigan has done in Ohio State. It is now final. Michigan a winner over Ohio State. Bob Greasy, your son Brian, a big part of it. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd say, John Cooper's had a great year in Ohio State. It's you can't take away from what John Cooper and Ohio State has done. The story in Northwestern has been outstanding. A Cinderella team, Keith, all year long. You got to be happy for Gary Barnett, but really, my heart and congratulations goes out to Cooper and Ohio State for what they've done also.
Yeah, that's a killer.
Yeah.
That is a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Fourth down, and the Gators are going to go for it at 1:08 to play. And Werfel going for the bundle to Dory. Incomplete. So they needed 11 yards on fourth down. They elect to go into the end zone for it, and they don't get it. And the Tennessee has gone ahead of Vandy finally at 12-7 in the fourth quarter. So you almost had another major upset there. So now with 1:01 to play in the ball game, the Seminoles get it back. And this one is going to belong, I think, to the Gators.
With Ohio State, with Ohio State getting beat today, Keith, Florida will go up to number 2. And if they can take care of business next week with Arkansas, you'll have number 1 versus number 2. Nebraska and Florida if they get by next week, Arkansas.
That's an incomplete forward pass intended for Cooper. 56 seconds to play. And here is that Tennessee go-ahead touchdown. Good job.
Well, the folks in the Citrus Bowl might have been a little bit worried with Tennessee losing as well. But Jay Graham punches this one in from a yard out, and Tennessee takes the lead over Vandy with about 2.5 to go.
Chuck Rowe just fainted over here, the executive director of the Citrus Bowl, the Florida Citrus Bowl, because they were sitting over there feeling pretty good about Northwestern-Tennessee matchup, and now Northwestern looks like they're headed for Pasadena.
They were looking forward to having Northwestern. What a great story. The Cinderella team of the year, Gary Barnett. Northwestern.
Well, we keep talking about that, but I want to tell you something. What Danny Ford and the folks did out at Arkansas ain't bad.
Well, you're right.
They came from nowhere. Here's the third down and short. And the forward progress looks like it might very well be a first down. But what we're doing now is just simply running out the clock. This ball game is in the bank for the Florida Gators. They have a lead of 35-24. And the clock is running.
Well, we said John Cooper had a great year and Ohio State. What about these Florida Gators and Steve Spurrier?
Well, they were expected to be a good football team, and they have been a good football team. There are a lot of talent around here. That pass is intercepted on the ricochet, and the game is over. So you might as well just go ahead and sit down, son. The party is on in Gainesville as the Gators have defeated a Bowden. That's new. Your final score is 35-24. And so we will see you then with these same Florida Gators from the Georgia Dome next Saturday night as they try to win their third successive SEC title. Now stay tuned for the Skins game.